Between work, social media, and the choices life throws our way, it's no wonder why we're more worked up than ever. Coors Light celebrates the rising above and choosing the chill mindset.
Emotions run hot in the NBA. The key to success, though, is to choose chill and not get too worked up. There's no way you can win the game while you're thinking about the last one.
Here at All the Smoke, we have a combined 210 career technical fouls, so we probably could have chosen to chill a few times during our playing days. But now that we're out of the league, it's the only thing we do. And there's nothing pairs better with choosing to chill than a refreshing taste of Coors Light.
As we head toward the NBA Finals, we want to make sure that our listeners are grabbing every opportunity to choose chill and then reach for a cold, refreshing Coors Light just like we are. How cool is it that the mountains on the bottles and cans turn blue when they are as cold as the Rockies?
When you embrace the chill mindset, it's a good time to choose chill and crack open a Coors Light.
Make the most of the times you choose chill. Choose Coors Light, straight from Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
You can get Coors Light delivered straight to your door with Instacart by going to CoorsLight.com/smoke. Celebrate responsibly.
Winning has always been a part of your DNA.
Only winning.
High school champion, college, McDonald's All-American, and Michigan State. So this is the question I got to ask. How many bags were thrown at you when you went to Michigan State?
A lot of people offered me money.
I knew it. I knew it. What kind of bags, though?
Oh, they were big bags. And you know what? My father, he always gave me life lessons. So here I am. He said, we're not taking no money. I said, okay, cool. So I decided to stay close to home because my mother and father and all my brothers and sisters had never missed none of my games, and I wanted that to continue.
Right.
And I'm a mama's boy, so I love my mother, so I wasn't giving up her fried chicken and none of the other stuff she brought to the table, them hugs and everything, right? So my freshman year, we win the Big Ten, go all the way to the Final Eight. Kentucky beat us. Kansas City had the #1 pick, so they called me and said, hey, we want to draft you #1.
That's the Kansas City Kings, right?
Yeah, they were Kansas City Kings at
Good
that
move.
time. So I flew down, met with the dude named Joel Ackerson, the general manager, and he said, hey, I'm going to give you a 6-year deal, $200,000 a year. So, you know, I got excited. I've been broke my whole life.
Yeah,
I'm like, oh, man, this is great.
Ching ching.
And so I jumped up, said, oh, I think that's good. My father grabbed me, and he pulled me, drugged me outside the door. He said, hold on, we'll be right back. He said, you've been broke for 18 years. You can be broke one more year.
You're not going to Kansas City.
I said, yes, sir. So you're going back to school.
Ooh.
So I went back to school, and I'm glad I did because I finished what I came to college for, which was to win the national championship and play against Larry Bird in that unbelievable final.
The most watched college championship ever.
That's right. To this day, still the most watched. And so to be linked with this dude who, you know, you saying, man, when I first met him, I said, all right, I'm going to see this dude, this white cat can really go like he's saying,
Because the verdict is always out on white boys that can hoop, with all due respect.
It's
always out.
It's respect. This ain't nothing bad. So I said, let me see what he can do.
But Larry had something that most white boys don't have. Just say that. Just keep it real.
Man,
Larry was different now. Larry was different now.
He had a little bit of nigger in him.
He was different now. He was different now. Larry was different now.
That boy, he could play, man. He turned it out. We played on a team in college in a tournament together. This is the first time I ever sat on the bench. Him and I were on the bench. And we were like, the guys in front of us wasn't better than us, but Kentucky head coach was coaching the team, so he started 3 guys from Kentucky. So we said, okay. But when we got in the game, we turned it out. But I saw this dude eat Jack Givens up. He was player of the year that year.
Kentucky, right?
Yeah, from Kentucky. And Larry Bird was just slicing and dicing him. And I said, oh, I called home. I said, it's true about this boy. I was calling everybody, this dude can play.
Yeah.
And so that was my first time seeing him, and then to be out on the court with him in college for that national championship game, and then, of course, what happened in the NBA. But I would say that we got a chance to change the league.
Yeah.
You know what? What a blessing it was. He ended up in Boston, and then I ended up out here. My personality was LA, Hollywood. His personality was Boston.
Right.
And it worked for the whole league, you know, so everything was good.
Give me a little bit more about the LB, though. Larry Bird, man. Give me a story, man, about LB, man.
So, I don't know I don't know how this is going to play with America, right? but let me just tell you what this dude told me one time, right? Now, our back line at one time, it was Kelly Tripucka, Bill Laimbeer, Ken Benson. 3 white dudes.
2 of them I ain't ever heard of.
Okay. All right. So we walk out on the court, and he said, "Who guarding me?" And I said, "Well, hey, you know, we both from Indiana. We talking stuff." Me and his mom had a close relationship in college. His mom would write me like notes, was even writing me notes like when I was in the pros, like, you know, good luck, everything else, right? So Larry used to always call me Cheesy, right? He's like, Cheesy, who guarded me? And I was like, you know, I got Kelly, I got Lamb, I got Benson. He's like, you ain't got no brothers? He's like you. He's like you.
Disrespecting me.
That's what he said.
Straight up.
That's exactly what he said. He said, hey, man, you can't put no white dude on me.
Hey, bro.
That is straight disrespect, right? He said, don't put no white dude on me. So check this out. So the next year we come back, I said, I got somebody for your ass, right?
Yeah.
He said, who you got? I said, Robin. He said, okay, he's a little better. He said, but don't ever put no white dude on me because that is disrespectful. I was like, okay. Now, I don't know how America gonna feel about that.
They'll be all right.
But I think he said it in Sports Illustrated too.
Yeah.
You can go get the quote.
I heard other people talk about Larry Bird, and I had conversations with people like John Salley, and he said the same thing. He was black.
Yeah, I was like, man.
When he walked on the court, he was black.
Straight, hey, man. But that's who he played with. You know, so
that's what I heard.
No, he played with the garbage. The garbage truck workers in story is in French Lick. You know, he grew up. You know, him and Quinn Buckner, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, so he grew up. You know, even though French Lick, you know, that's kind of Larry. You know, he ain't into all that, right? He like, you know,
he did his own thing.
But you better put somebody on me that
Got
I
some
respect.
melanin in their skin.
And yeah, if he ain't got no melanin,
he can't guard me.
He can't guard me. That you disrespecting my game.
And even if he got some melanin, he gonna have a long night.
But you know what though? I know he walked out on the court one time. Somebody said, "Man, get this white boy on me. He can't guard me." And Larry served him.
All
you know
the
what I'm saying? So I'm pretty sure he heard that before too.
Man, they used to talk so much trash, man. So I remember we playing them in the elimination game in Joe Louis Arena. And, you know, end of the game, they up like 8 or 9. They done won the series. And you're going to try to take that last shot, right? And Mikhail said, I hope you make this last shot because it's your last one of the season. While I'm in the air.
Mid-air.
Bam, clang, I missed it, you know? But they used to talk so much trash, man. And if you go back and you watch the Lakers Celtic documentary, you will see how much trash they was talking to. I don't know if it was Worthy or Magic was at the foul line and he missed the free throw. And ML Carr walked across the foul line and
the choke sign.
Yeah, and then man, and I remember I don't know if it was 84 or 85. So I'm following the series back and forth. The Lakers win in Boston. And they just come up in there and they gangster Boston. Like, because Boston was supposed to be the physical team. The Lakers was supposed to be Showtime. And, so Lakers came up in there and just, boom, boom, pound. And so Larry Bird, the next day, he called, he said, my team, he called them sissies and everything else, all in the newspaper, right? So now they come back, I think it was game 5 here. And I mean, I think that's the game that Mikal grabbed Rabbits and threw him out of there, right?
Yeah.
So now I'm watching all this, right? And I'm sitting baseline, and they enter it in the Bird on the right side of the court. Bird on the baseline, and he dribbling down, and Magic come to double team, and I'm like, no. He ain't getting ready to shoot, because now I'm studying. I'm like, now I know when Bird gonna do a step back. I'm like, no. I'm in my mind, I'm like, don't come double. And he came in double, and he kicked it out to Dennis Johnson. And Dennis Johnson knocked it down right from the foul line. Boom. Game. And Boston beat LA here. But those type of, rivalries going back and forth, I mean, the way they was fighting. And I felt so sorry and bad for Bird, because the way Michael Cooper was guarding him, man. I mean, dude, you can see Michael Cooper's fingernails all on Bird's, like, one time he pulled his shirt and all you saw was Coop's fingernails, but man, they was going at it. And so now they go back to Boston, and Bird was real clever. So they have an out-of-bounds play where ball's here on the right side, and he's coming up to set an up screen. As he come, instead of it being a pin down,
he said no.
He comes up to set an up screen. But when he comes to set an up screen now, you taking the ball out, and that's the corner. And as he's setting the up screen, the defender is in front of him.
Mm-hmm.
And that dude flared to the corner.
Gets to pick them.
Moneyball.
And caught it. And when he let it go, I was like, he ain't missing. It was like, hit the back of the rim. But that ball must have stayed in the air for about 5 seconds. I mean, just spinning perfectly, right? Boom, hit the back, bounced off, and I was like, hey, God was with y'all today, Lakers. Because, I mean, it was so clever of a play that he was able to up, slide, ball there, ball came in, and he was able to just
catching rhythm
right in front of the Laker bench. And if you go back and you look, you'll see Pat Riley like,
hoping it don't go in.
Oh, everybody was praying. I mean, the whole gym, man, when he caught the ball,
breath.
You know when some people catch the ball, they go,
yep.
Right? The whole gym. And when he missed, it was like, whew.
People want to talk about who's the greatest and the GOATs of all time. Y'all will never play against Larry Bird. Larry Bird will give you nightmares now if you have to sit back and think about it. Kevin McHale would smell like garlic on purpose. And rub his underarms. Petrovic. You remember that there was that player, Petrovic?
Ooh, he was tough.
Nets.
Man, you can't even punch him and it's not going to do anything.
A rock, huh?
Yeah. You would have been great. Because back in the day, you can fight, and then when they break you up, they just tell you to calm down.
Yeah.
I would have loved it.
Yeah. Calm down. Calm down.
Crazy.
Put them over there. Get
That's
somebody
crazy.
else in for them. And then I coach come by and go, you don't get paid to fight. Now I was like,
But kind of, sometimes.
Yeah.
With that team, shit. Where would you put, I mean, you mentioned Larry Bird. Is he the greatest small forward of all time? Like, is he
Yes.
two? Yes. So is LeBron a small forward in your opinion?
LeBron can play all 5 positions.
Okay, so you're not counting the small forward.
He's like Magic.
Okay.
So Magic, LeBron over here.
Okay.
Kobe and Michael over here.
Okay.
Larry Bird and everybody else over here. Bernard King
Can you compare? I'm not saying who's better. Can you compare? Obviously, a different kind of game, but a Larry Bird and a Kevin Durant.
Kevin Durant is my favorite player playing now. I've told him that 1,000 times. Kevin Durant is not Larry Bird.
No,
No.
it's Kevin Durant.
Kevin Durant is 6'11" and shoots the ball above his head. So,
But Bird was 6'9" and shot that bitch behind his head
yeah,
with
while
both
talking,
hands.
with jumper.
would just talk shit to you too. I'm gonna shoot this,
right.
and then I'm gonna go to the other side next time and shoot it again. And he would go, I'm gonna shoot this, and shoot it, and be talking. I told you I was gonna shoot it. And I remember one day he was just talking so much to me. It's go 1, 2, 3. I got 2 quick fouls because you know that means you got to sit down. Somebody else come be a highlight reel, and it would worry you. It would worry you. And he can dribble, pass. People didn't realize he was 6'9", so
He's
if
big.
you thought he was going to lay it up and he would dunk on you.
How much was he? Like 230?
Yeah, 230.
Okay.
Didn't he have a game where he shot all left? He
Oh, he could have.
had like 30 with his left.
Yeah. Well, I tell you this. Stack, you know how you play defense, you lean, and then they don't do this anymore, but they punt and they do a fadeaway, right? Everyone did it, right? Guys would bang you and then fade away on one leg, try to be like, Wilt Chamberlain. Larry would hit you and go like this, and then you would fly by.
Shot fake.
And he'd be like, stupid.
Stupid.
I'm just constantly snapping, saying things like, oh my God, I'm gonna give you 50 tonight. You know, he was like, oh my God, they're not gonna throw you the ball. They're not gonna throw you the ball.
I would have loved to play with him.
Oh,
That's
he
funny.
was the best.
So growing up in LA, obviously you're a Laker fan, right? Magic,
Yeah,
Showtime.
man.
Talk about that.
That was a must. I wore a Lakers sweater. I'll show y'all pictures. I got a Lakers sweater I used to wear every day to school.
Every day.
No, it was a hoodie that I got. I mean, who could not be a Laker fan? From here, I grew up right down the street from the Forum, right there in Inglewood, watching Magic. I hated the Celtics. It was just like, you from LA, let alone Inglewood where the Forum is.
Right.
Of course you a Laker fan.
How can you not?
How can you not be? I mean, so that's what make it real ironic when I get drafted to the Celtics.
Right.
And I didn't even work out for the Celtics.
Right.
So then when I look back at my career, man, it's like, damn, some shit is meant to be.
Crazy, right?
It's crazy
Because
how it
I'm
all
thinking,
play out.
I heard you speak on it before, like you stay an extra year in college because you want to come out and possibly be the the number one pick. And
Yeah.
at that time, it could have possibly been the Clippers, right?
Yeah, so I had, the Clippers was the number one pick. And I was just like, ooh, I want to go home and play. So I worked out for them. And then I asked them for a second workout.
Like, fuck it.
I
trying
was
to get
projected to go number 2 to the Vancouver Grizzlies. And so the Clippers wanted a big man. They picked Olo Candy. And then I was like, all right, I'm locked in. I'm going to go to Vancouver, play with Sharif Abdul-Rahim. Me and him.
Here. Killer.
But then the draft come, I just slip. I'm All-American. I'm a top 5 player in college. I'm up for National Player of the Year. So I'm wondering, like, why is it I'm slipping? I'm slipping in the draft. Like, all right, I'm doing no worse than top 5. Golden State pass. I could tell you the same order. Clippers, Denver, Clippers, Vancouver, Denver, Golden State. Toronto was 4, Golden State 5, and then you got Milwaukee, Sacramento was 6, Milwaukee, Dallas, Boston. And I went to the gym after that. When I got picked 10th, I went to the gym and I was shooting. Clippers, Denver, Vancouver, all the teams that passed me, yelling out the coach, who the coaches? Boom, Larry Brown. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, this was my motivation.
You coming out with vengeance then.
I'm coming out because I'm competitive. I was competitive. I want to be the number 1 pick. I want if at worst 2. So now all these 8, 9 teams that passed on me, y'all gonna feel this one.
but before that, you went to Kansas. How was that like joining that tradition and your time in Kansas?
That was curly top Paul.
That was curly top Paul.
S-curl Paul.
S-curl. Yeah, I know about the S-curl with the fade.
Had that good S-curl.
Dude, I'm gonna tell you
That's
though,
that LA
like
curl.
going from Inglewood to Kansas was the ultimate culture shock.
Yeah.
Imagine.
Like straight up. Like I never seen farms. I never been. I lived around all minorities, black, Mexican. That's all I ever grew up around. Like And then you go and you seeing all these nationality, white, Indian,
Live cattle.
like live cattle. I'm like, man. But I needed to get out of LA. You know, I was kind of like, wasn't really a great student. Was almost didn't make it because of my grades. Luckily, I got a scholarship. But I was like, I could have went to USC, you know, all the West Coast schools, UCLA. UCLA actually just won a national championship. So I was supposed to be the next in line to help them win it again as a top player. So I was just like, I knew myself, and I was just like, dude, I was getting in trouble. I was out in the streets. It was just, you know, it's me and my mom, and I'm doing pretty much whatever I want. She working 2 jobs, you know, night shifts, and not getting home till late.
So you doing whatever.
And it's like, you know, my older brothers is out the house. But I was like, I need to get out of here. I need to get to Kansas. Like you see in the Menace of Society. When they went to Kansas. I feel like I'm that story.
You need to go reaping them. You should gotta go reaping them to Kansas.
Huh?
We say you need to go reaping them to Kansas.
Yeah, I need to go reaping them to Kansas. So I went out to Kansas like, this is where I need to go.
Yeah.
I need to get away from everything, man. Focus on school and just hoop. And I stayed there in the summer. I was like, I'm not coming home. You know, I have friends that's been
discipline
killed.
too, because you remember, I think about it, people always trying to get home in the summer, especially you go away to something like that.
Yeah, I mean, but I had friends that lost their life in high school. I was seeing this I'm seeing this at a young age. I'm like, you know, I need to get away. You know, something can happen to me. I live in a volatile area. And so I need to get away, man. And you got to be mature. You got to know when you see the stuff you see as a kid, you like, no kid should be able to like grow up around gunshots, firing every other night. You putting your hands over your ears, losing friends at a young age. And when you see that, you grow up fast, man. You try to make tough decisions. And I decided to get out.
College basketball was real back then because that's kind of really before people started jumping straight to the pros. I mean, so all the best players were in college for 2, 3, 4 3-4 years.
Yeah.
Talk about that a little bit.
Man, college was a scene. You had Kentucky, Antoine Walker, Allen Iverson, Ray Allen, Kerry Kittles, Marcus Camby. You had, I mean, it was so many, Tim Duncan, Keith Van Horn, all this. This is my college era. Like, I'm talking about everybody was staying to their junior year. That was leaving early.
Leaving your junior
that
year
was leaving
back
early.
In the day, right.
Until, you know, KG was the first one out of high school. People didn't know you can go out of high school. He went out in 95, but everybody was leaving their junior year. Man, Mike Bibby. Oh, man. They put us out. He put us out. He put me out the tournament 2 times.
Mike was a killer.
My freshman year, I was supposed to go there and end up winning the national championship. Mike freshman year,
they beat us to go to Final Four. We was the favorite that year. They came in, him and Miles Simon.
Who was your team?
Mike Dickerson.
Mike
They had a
Dickerson.
mob.
They had a mob.
Who was on your team, though, just for people who don't know?
I played with Jock Vaughn, who made pros.
Shout out Jock.
Scott Pollard played in the pros. Rafe LaFrance played in the pros. Then we had a scrappy guard, Jared Haas, who's coach at Stanford right now. Was tough.
Shooter.
Yeah, we had Billy Thomas, was a shooter off the bench. He had played some years in the pro, too. So them was some. We had a pro squad.
Yeah,
we was supposed to win it.
Right.
We was supposed to win
legendary
it.
Coach.
And with Roy Williams, Allen Fieldhouse, man, you don't even know. When I stepped on that campus, growing up in LA, I went to USLA games, and they was the champs that year. But when I stepped on and I saw a Kansas game, it was like nothing. I just knew I had to go there. The crowd, I mean, y'all see it on TV, man. It was just like something I had to play for.
People don't understand. Like I mean, obviously went to UCLA, but when you're at UCLA, SC, no matter what, it's LA, so there's always so much other shit going on too. There's the Lakers, the Clippers, the Dodgers, whatever. When you go to one of these small, like basketball is absolute life at Kansas.
We was the
North
pros.
Carolina, right? That's the only show in town, so the environment is suited for you guys.
Yeah, I was signing autographs like every day. Like
Right, crazy.
we was like the pros. Like we going places, getting free
Everything.
food at the restaurants. I'm like, I felt like a pro already. And it was just like, damn, I felt like I already made it. You'd be surprised, man. I don't know. Like, it's different. It's different. People spend the night. People put wheels on their tickets. Yeah. Like, seriously, they pass them down. And when I'm here, I'm seeing this. Like, damn, this is my first real, like, feeling of, like, crazy basketball culture. You know, I never seen nothing like this.
And then, like you said, up until that point, you hadn't been around this. Pretty much all white people out there, right?
Yeah, for sure.
And they loving you.
Loving you.
Right.
I went to junior college in Butler,
in Butler, Kansas for
Oh,
like,
yeah.
for like
I know
3-4
about Butler.
weeks.
I know about Butler.
I couldn't do it. I
He said I couldn't do it.
me and Lee Nalon down there selling weed.
Yup,
Couldn't do it. Couldn't do it.
Lee was cold.
Shout
I
out Lee
was
had
down there
so
3
much
weeks
game,
and I
bro.
couldn't take it, bro. Talking about a culture shock. I could not take it, dog. I had to get up out of there.
You got up out of there.
I had to get up out of there quick. But knowing that, after you going through that and you grow up in LA, Laker fan your whole life, and end up a Celtic.
I know.
What was that, like, I know
that was
tripping.
unreal. Like when I got drafted, when I
But
got
you was like, man,
called,
fuck that. I ain't going over there. You ain't never had that.
you know what the thing was, Stack? It was just like, I was happy to be a pro.
Like we all did, yeah.
You know, that's
I'm in.
at the end of the day, I'm in now.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I don't even think it really mattered where I went, but when I got picked, because it was shocking. I was supposed to go in the top 5. Ended up number 10 to a team I didn't even work out for.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but then it was the Celtics, and I'm hearing all these stories about Rick Pitino. I was scared. I was like shook. I'm like, oh man, I gotta
Mafia boss.
I gotta go play for Rick Pitino. I heard his practices is crazy. Like if I thought my practice at Kansas was hard, that's the only thing going through my mind. But I was like, man, I'm in now. I don't care. I don't care if I play for the Celtics, even though I hated them growing up. I'm in. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I think that's what it was all about for all of us. We didn't care where we went. We in. We shook the commissioner in. We in.
Yeah. Tell me about your relationships. I mean, once you're in this historical franchise, Red Auerbach, Bill Russell, all the greats. How was that transition to meeting some of these guys and understand the tradition of the franchise?
Yeah, I had a chance when I first got there. I met Red Auerbach at a charity golf thing he would do every year, and this is my first time meeting him. So I'm sitting on the couch, and he comes sit down next to me, and I'm like, how you doing, Mr. Auerbach? He was like, he got a cigar. that was real. He always had a cigar. He was like, yeah, I watched you at Kansas. I didn't even think he knew who I was at the time. You know what I'm saying? He was like, yeah, Pierce, I watched you at Kansas. You need to do this for yoga. The first thing we just started talking basketball. But now it's like, damn, this is Red Auerbach talking to me. So now it's like, damn, look at this culture. Bill Russell's around, John Havlicek. These just got legends just coming around. Like now I'm part of this culture. I go from one tradition at Kansas to another basketball tradition where it's like legends everywhere, and they support. They at the games. They they off the court with you. I had a chance to have dinner with Bill Russell at times. Cedric Cornbread Maxwell.
Cornbread.
That's my boy. That's my man, Cornbread. Tommy Heinsohn, just to hear the stories. You just like soak up all the stories. You sit there, talk to Russell. You sit there, talk to Heinsohn. Like how was Bird? How was Hondo? How was Havlicek? And then but then you get a chance like
history.
Yeah, when you get a chance to soak that up and hear about like how was they off the court? How did they? You be shocked, man. They back in the day they used to smoke cigarettes in the locker room.
Yeah.
Have beers.
Yeah. Whole 6-pack.
Yeah, that was in the locker room refrigerator. They got pictures of that in Boston.
That's what Don Nelson get it from.
They got pictures of guys on the Celtics smoking a cigarette after the game. It's still in their uniform.
Yeah.
Like people don't even know this.
That's
Like it's a picture
shit.
with the beer case right there in the locker room. Like people don't even know this
No
stuff.
clue.
Game over, shit.
So you get to, so what are you, 20 when you get to Boston?
Yeah, I'm 20. I just turned 21.
Where are you at just as a man? You know what I mean? A straight California kid throwing into Kansas, which is kind of a culture shock, but ends up being great. Now you're throwing into Boston with all this history.
I mean, the thing is, too, like, as a young man, you hear Boston is a racist city.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Especially for Africans.
Yeah, no doubt. And coming from LA and Kansas and going to Boston, it's like that's all you're thinking about. It's like, man, I'm in a racist city.
both
It's
stops.
just known. It's known. It's like known. And I'm just like trying to find my way. I'm over here, got an apartment. I don't know, which way is left. Snow, more snow. And another culture shock again, re-culture shock, and hearing these accents, and all I'm thinking, all I'm thinking like, man, this city is racist. But you know what? Boston has really, like, as far as sports, they pioneered a lot of the black athletes. You know what I'm saying? First black coach, first team to draft a African American player. And, I learned about the history, but that still don't take away about how people are. But, I really didn't have a chance to really feel a lot of racism because I was a sports
Right. It's different.
person.
It's
It's
kind of common
different.
ground.
Yeah.
It brings
and,
both sides together no matter who, what color, whatever the situation is.
Yeah. And so, I didn't know that life would come full circle, that I'll be coming from LA to living in Boston all the years.
Right. So you come out with the strong rookie campaign. You made it.
Yeah.
You come out the gates and strong. Talk about your first year in the league playing for the Celtics now.
Yeah, so I came in with a chip on my shoulder.
As you should.
I came in with a straight chip. I wasn't gonna like wait for nobody. I was just like, I'm here. I'm pissed that these other teams didn't draft me.
Right.
I'm coming out. This is it. You only get one shot. This was my shot. I need to make a name for myself right now. That was just the fire in me, the competitiveness. And I wasn't going to take a back seat to nobody. I mean, that was my mentality. I was just like, you either love me or hate me. Straight up. This is who I am. This is how I'm going to play every night, like it or don't.
So coming from LA, like you said, you made a conscious decision knowing what kind of shit you was running in the street, ripping and running. You make a move to Kansas to get out of California. You get to Boston. September 24th, 2000.
Never forget that day.
Stabbed 8 times, nearly die. Talk to me about that.
I mean, it all started. I was young, hanging out all the time, going to the clubs, and so it was a night when I went in, Buzz Club, and I caught myself talking to some young ladies. I'm single at the time. Next thing I know, one of the young ladies, I don't know if it's her dude, I don't know what. Next thing I know, a guy approached me like, you don't talk to her. And I'm like, what? And she like I don't really mess with dude. Like, next thing you know, I'm in a tussle with him. I don't know. It happened so fast, man.
That's how I normally
It happened so fast. I don't even know how I got into it. It's just one dude right here. The next thing I know, the story come out, I was fighting with 3 guys. Once it was all over with, it's over, I'm standing up. I didn't even know I was being stabbed. And so I look up, I got a jacket on. I look up, and my jacket is red, blood everywhere. I'm kind of leaking down my face. I can really keep my eyes open. And they like, you stabbed. You need to go to the hospital. I was with Derek Battie and Tony Battie was at the club that night. But we kind of like separated. When, you're walking around talking to females and stuff.
Tony, a cool dude too.
Yeah. And man, that night changed my life, man. I remember being at the hospital, banging on the hospital door and, asking, am I going to die? Am I going to die? I'm having shortness of breath. And, it really changed my life for me to get through that.
Where you got stabbed at?
I got stabbed 3 times in the stomach and 5 times in the back by like 2 different knives.
And then you hit with a bottle too, right?
Got hit upside the head with a bottle. I got a scar on the right side of my eye. I had to have plastic surgery all on this part because it was all scraped out. I didn't even know when you adrenaline is flowing.
You feel none of that.
You don't feel none of that. I wasn't on the ground out of it. I'm up like, and then it was over. I realized this was all happening, and it was like, man, I had a big old scar. Yeah, so all this was happening, and I'm like, damn, I got to change or something, man. I could have been. I seen how many people are affected.
Come on, man.
The quote when you said, when they say, why you shoot so many threes, you said, because there are no fours. Because there are no fours.
Man, what we doing right now, All-Star Weekend. Had too many the night before. I'll keep it honest with you. You got media requests. The media day, you're doing your media day.
Yeah.
And at that time, and what really was irritating, because for 2 years, when Pitino left, Jim O'Brien took over, who was the assistant coach at Kentucky and obviously came to Boston with Coach Pitino, but he took over. But so he knew my game, obviously from top to bottom. And when Coach Pitino left, he was like, look, I want you to shoot 8 to 10 threes a game. See, a lot of people don't know that. I know we're watching a 3-point game now and the guy's shooting. He told me shoot 8 to 10 a game. Paul was doing all the heavy lifting, getting to the basket. I'm like, look, he's like, shoot 8 to 10 a game. So once he instilled that confidence in me to shoot that many, shit, I'm making now. I'm shooting 600, 700 threes for a season.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it changed it up. So at All-Star break, I'm just getting tired of the question because it was kind of unheard of. Only me, probably Rasheed Wallace. But Rasheed wouldn't shoot as many as me. He was shooting a 3. It wasn't really no big guys stepping out, really shooting threes. Derek Coleman was still in the league around that time. He was shooting a little bit of them. So it wasn't really no big guys shooting the 3. So it just wasn't common. So I used to get like, it was crazy in Boston. Y'all know how Boston fans is. they'll boo you one play,
Yeah,
you
love
make
you
it,
the
then
next.
the next one. So it was just one of those things that people had to get used to. But I always credit, Jim O'Brien for that, for giving me the confidence and actually making that a part of our team. And we went far. We went to the Eastern Conference Finals playing that way. We ended up, and we went to the second round. We went against that New Jersey run.
That was tough.
They was tough. Kenyon Martin, Jay Kidd, Richard Jefferson. We couldn't get past them, man. They knocked us out 2 years in a row.
But I mean, if you think about where the game was then and where it's at now, it's normal. But you were shooting almost 8 threes a game.
Easy.
Led the league in attempts for 3 years.
Yeah, I made $108 million. I probably could have made 308, bro.
Yeah.
In this era
right now.
Yeah.
No, seriously, the way my game would translate to
the
now.
Versatility.
Yeah. That's a premium now if you can shoot the three. So I would have definitely been.
Yeah.
I always tell people that, I say the game now is different. I remember I used to get booed for that, man. Like,
because you had to go inside out. People don't know, like, the ball, if you had a big, or even if you didn't have a big, just to get the offense, it had to go inside out.
Yeah, it's like the way the game is now, people thought it would never be played that way. I think, and I think Golden State opened that up to where people started looking at it differently because they was able to shoot the three and
it was always
win.
shoot the three and die by the three.
Yeah, and die by it. They won
it.
a championship with it.
Right.
So I think that changed it up. And I think that's what allowed other teams and other organizations and coaches to believe that three-point shot
Copycat league. It's a copycat league.
Oh, no question.
Yeah. 98, Paul Pierce comes to town. Just what's the earliest memory of Paul?
Tough, shit talker,
huge,
still burnt,
super confident, and kind of like demanded his role. You know what I mean? He came in, and people don't understand this, and you guys know this. He came in with a huge chip on his shoulder because Paul's supposed to win the top 5.
Yeah, 10, right?
So when he slid to 10, he came in mad, and. Obviously, his work ethic was tremendous. We hadn't seen nobody like him with mid-range game. His body was kind of different. You think he's slow, he ain't slow. You think he ain't athletic, he's athletic. Dunk on you. And, his confidence was to the roof. But one thing I can say, Paul came in, respecting me. We became friends instantly.
Spoke highly
off the court. And I think that's what made it easier for us on the court. We respect each other's game so much. And you guys know this, and a lot of people know when he went through that incident, obviously in the club and in that situation, it just changed the dynamics, of our friendship. Obviously, to see somebody go through that and to see how tough he was, how fast he came back. Because us, I know you guys, I would have had to get traded. You know what I'm saying? I'd have been looking for a little ass, man. You know what I'm saying?
Word.
I would have want some get back.
Yeah.
But he locked in, you know what I'm saying, stayed focused on his craft, and became he's gonna be a Hall of Famer now. So that's kudos to him for doing that.
And played all 82 that season.
That's what I'm saying.
Stabbed
I used to watch him look
camp.
himself in the mirror, man. He used to have like little nicks and stuff from the stabbing,
right?
from the stabbing, and he would just look at it in the mirror. You'd catch him in the bathroom in the mirror. So I think he just uses it as motivation to me. I never asked him that, but I think that's what he uses it as.
That's all you can do.
Them early 2000 playoff battles with Philly and AI and Reggie and Indiana, the Pacers or the Piston teams. What was it like early 2000s for you guys in the playoff runs?
It was great because me and Paul were so young. We didn't really know what we was getting ourselves into, and what it really took to really get over. So we was just playing our pure talent. I don't think we had the same teams that those guys had.
Yeah, we
from top to bottom.
Oh, you was on the Nets team
when we sent their ass on.
No.
Yeah.
Jack,
I was on the team.
You was on the team, but no. You sent us home in Indy, man.
That's what we talking about.
He was talking about.
No, I was talking about the Nets.
He's talking about the Nets. Now you can get something like that.
That's what we said, Reggie.
Yeah.
You was on that team, yeah.
Oh, okay. Just want.
Well, if you want to tell the whole story, tell the whole story now.
I got suspended that year, but the Raw came back and sent him home. After being sitting home 30 games.
Okay.
I say that because me and Paul talk shit all the time.
Okay.
Me and Paul used to go at it.
First of all, let's start with this. I wasn't on the team when the season started.
No,
I wasn't on the team.
Right.
So let's start with that. I got traded back to Boston.
Right.
Yeah, we run off 13. We win like 12 out of 13 or something. To catch that, we finished third in the division. I jump on the team. We catch all y'all.
Yeah.
We play the first round. Y'all the 6th seed. It was Reggie's last year.
Yep. But me and Ron had missed the whole season.
Yep.
I got suspended. So that's 30 games?
Yeah. So we play our first round. I remember this series. Y'all beat us in 7 games. You ain't say that. You just said we beat the shit out of y'all. It was you ain't say in 7 games.
Not in 7, but that game 7.
And I got suspended on some bullshit because I touched the referee.
Was it a game? That was game
like 2 or 3.
Yeah, game 3. That was game 3.
Me and Jermaine O'Neal getting a pushing match.
Yep.
Me and J.O. getting a pushing match, right? Listen, Stu Jackson, I'll never forget this, called me and was like, yeah, I got to suspend you. I was like, what? He was like, yeah, those guys from y'all brawl. He was like, I got to suspend you a game. I got to lay the law down. J.O. was involved in that. We got to suspend you guys. They suspended me one game. I was mad. Lost $300,000 that game. Game check. I was pissed about that.
Damn.
I said I was mad. And what they Paul ended up standing there. They beat y'all.
That game?
We beat y'all. Paul beat them.
crazy.
Yeah, he beat them to get us a game 6.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Me and J.O. getting a fake basketball fight, man. You know, man. You know we weren't going.
We was just competing.
You know we weren't going to fight, man.
Yeah.
You know we're in the playoffs. We just pushing on each other.
But because Jack went in the stands, they were scared.
Ma, I took the referee and moved him. I wasn't going to do nothing. You couldn't touch the referee.
Touch him then.
Man, he suspended me a game, let them boys off the hook. But that was Reggie last year, though. That was Reggie's last year.
Exactly
got
right.
us, though.
Any good memories from Club Shiznit at Paul's house?
Who told y'all that?
Paul.
He did.
Yeah, he told me. Yeah, Paul told us about Club
You know,
Shiznit.
Well, okay, listen. So I got there, they was already started. So I got traded back to the team. So you know how we get back to the team. Like now we rolling. We run up. I catch them on the West Coast. We win 6 straight on the West Coast. I catch them on the West Coast. We back. I'm like, man, Paul, what we doing now? We finna party. Like,
Shiznit already.
He said, yeah, we at the crib. We at the crib. Yeah, Club Shiznit. Oh, okay. Yeah. That was legendary.
Yeah.
Legendary.
Yeah.
Well, you know, Paul started because the clubs closed at 2. So, you know, Paul thing gonna go to about 4 or 5.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe 6.
Everything you need too.
Everything is there. Everything you need.
Hey, bro, he invited me to a Super Bowl party just last week, and I just knew I couldn't go. So I called him and took it over there, and I was like, show me what's going on. Nigga. I was glad I didn't go. But this shit was popping. I'm like, Paul, it's still Club Shiznit 25 years later in the Valley.
Yeah. Paul,
Paul loves to have a good time.
Yeah, but that's crazy. He told y'all that story.
Yeah,
that was the hangout, man.
Club
He changed the whole dynamics of it. But he had in the crib. That's the only thing that was safe about it.
Yep.
That he had it in the house. But you know, Boston closed at 2 o'clock, closed early.
Mm-hmm.
But the club didn't close.
Everything you needed. 2002, you guys lose to a tough New Jersey Nets team. Kmart, J Kidd. You and Kmart went at it.
Yeah.
Talk about them battles.
Kmart was tough for me because he was strong, but he had quick feet.
Yep. Super
athletic.
So
that was his thing. He was athletic. He had quick feet. So he would give me trouble. But I got the green light. So my number's going to look good. He told me, you're going to go 10 for 26. But I got...
That's still 25.
I got 28 and 12, so my numbers look good. But one year, he got the best of me. I struggled that whole series. But we used to have some epic battles. I love to go against Kmart just because of his defensive ability made you change the game, made you work on it. But they were better than us. They were deep. They can go 8, 10. They had 2 units. We were struggling. We had, it was me and Paul really trying to do it. And they depth just wore us down, man, when it came down to it. We would get them. They swept us the second year. The first year, we went 6 with them, and then they swept us. We just couldn't. And we caught people don't understand this, and you guys got to remember this. We caught that triple-double Jayson Kidd for 2 years when he was setting them records.
Going to the
that's
finals
the
year.
That's the Jayson Kidd that we played against. Lightning fast. Jayson Kidd, he obviously ended up shooting better, but this is the dude that gets to the basket we want to, make so many other players better. So we went against that kid that should have been the MVP. Could have easily been the MVP back to back.
Yep.
So that's and a lot of people don't never talk about that, but there was 2 unbelievable years that Jayson Kidd had to knock us out. We didn't have anybody, and Kenny, my man, Kenny Harrison, I love him to death. That's my dog. And great
nobody
teammate.
was fucking with J Kidd
But
at that time.
wasn't nobody, it was tough. J Kidd, man, was tough back then.
Shit, in the finals, we didn't have nobody. We beat them in the finals, but J Kidd was so dominant in the finals. They was trying to trade Tony Parker for him right after the finals. Immediately after the finals, they were trying to trade him for Tony Parker.
Believe it, bro. Like that,
he was that good.
We went against that Jayson Kidd was second to none, man, and they couldn't get over that hump. Never. It stopped me from going to the final. We thought we had him. We felt confident. But it was something, he just turned it on, man. And we went up 2-1 in the series. We thought we had him, but that dude, I think he averaged a triple-double for the series. Something crazy, like 20, 15, and 15. Some dumb numbers. It was something crazy. Yo.
So 2001, the 10th pick in the draft to the Celtics. You joined up with Paul Pierce, Antoine Walker. What were those Celtics team? What was that Celtics team like your first year?
Man, listen. First off, Paul Pierce had just got his first check, like his first big contract. I think he got.
So you couldn't tell him shit.
Oh man, and then he had been, Paul had went through, he had went through a lot, man. And with everything he went through, and he got that. And Twan, hey man, I had a great time my rookie. Those guys took care of me, make it like that.
Trust me, I know.
Them dudes said, hey, look, for a young country boy, man, you get me out there in Boston, man. Listen, we was all through that thing. You hear me? Yeah.
Hey, who were some of the vets on your team?
Tony Battie, Eric Williams, Kenny Anderson, Walter McCarty.
Solid
I played with some real vets, man. Them dudes,
Absolutely.
hey, they changed my life, man.
I think you touched on a good point because the NBA has completely obviously changed the way they play, but when we came into the league, there were vets, like real vets, like in the age vet, that 33 to 37, 38 range, where whether they played or not, they contributed to the team. They helped young people like you. They were ready if they were called upon, but the game is different now. And I say that to say, I still feel like you can play. I still feel like Jamal Crawford can play. There's guys that can still play, but the NBA has changed from a standpoint of now, Steph Curry is a vet on the Warriors, and he's like 32. He's the oldest player on the team, which is crazy because, like I said, when we first came in the league, there were real OG vets. They were there to do a lot of, the dirty work and the lifting and helping young guys kind of navigate the crazy NBA life.
Yeah. Well, it's tough now. The league is getting younger and younger. You got guys, there's so many guys come one and done that, they're going to keep a guy based off potential as opposed to somebody who's been around, for 15, 16 years.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's just kind of how it is.
3 months in, you get traded to Toronto. Talk about that.
Yeah. Man, it was weird, man. You the third pick in the draft, and you feel like you're going to be there, like...
At least for a year or two.
It was a bad team. Yeah. You're the third pick. Most guys, they just give you the ball and they live with your mistakes. They just live through your mistakes until you develop. And I didn't really get that opportunity, but in all honesty, like, it wasn't like no coach hating. It wasn't none of that. Like, I just really wasn't ready. It was the first time that I'm playing against dudes that's bigger, stronger, better than me, smarter. And it just took a while to make the adjustment. I was playing pretty good. I was playing for Rick Pitino at the time. There was a lot of pressure on him. I remember, like, the day he traded me. He came into my hotel room. We was on the road. It was just like, look, man, I think you're going to have a good career. Y'all heard this all before. Because it's all the same. And but he was like, it's a lot of pressure on me, and I've always been a big fan of Kenny Anderson's. And I'm like, all right, that's cool. And he was like, we got a chance to get him. So it was a 3-way trade. I went to Toronto. Damon Stoudemire went to Portland, and Kenny A went to Boston. So just the fact that I was in the trade with these dudes is cold. Like, they the dudes. So that, that was cool, but I was really ready to get out of there because it was like it was some days, bro, with Pitino, man, it was some days I was like, I wish I'd have stayed in school, man. This shit crazy. We pressing from the start of the game. Like, it was crazy.
Then we heard rumors. I don't know if you even heard the shit, but it was word that we were going after you for a whole package, and you were supposed to come complete us as our centerpiece to our crazy ass team. Did you ever hear that?
Yeah, I heard about y'all, man.
Ooh. Hold on. Okay. So we've been talking about this for years.
We spoke on this all the time. We didn't know if you knew about it.
Like when we heard on the team, we was tripping.
Like KG?
Well, send anybody, man. KG, send the whole team, the coach, anybody. We need KG.
Listen,
we never know you knew about it.
I looked at it like this. I was like, man, I got one chance at this show, right?
I ain't mad at it.
I had Oakland, I had Phoenix, I had the Lakers, and I had the Celtics. And I'm just being honest with everybody.
I wanted to link with Kobe because Kobe and I had like a.
How can you not?
Listen to me. Kobe and I had like a different connect. Like when Kobe and Shaq went on they little thing, a lot of people went with Shaq. A lot of people didn't even fuck with Kobe. You know, Kobe, whatever. I'm one of the very few that just stayed with him. And I was a neutral guy anyway. I show everybody love. You know
Kobe
what I'm saying?
loved dogs.
But Kobe respect dogs. like real cat star. If you ever notice, he never really got into it with somebody that he really respected. You know what I'm saying? Like I watched when you and him went at it and you threw the ball, he flinched. It was a form of respect there that they was talking. Nobody noticed, but they was talking simultaneously. Like, nigga, I wish you would hit me with this ball. You got more respect than me than that. So him and Matt I already knew that, but players know this.
Yeah.
And then you already know who if we get into it and we get the tech, it's verbal. If we bumping, I'm already knowing what he's saying to me without even talking. So that's how we used to,
shit.
real shit. Like not even
shit.
thinking, that's how players actually was talking and dealing with each other. So whenever I would watch him get into it with somebody and he actually would get into it, it was either because he didn't respect them and it went like that, or he respected them and it went a whole nother way.
Yeah, the people don't know that's how, like when we got into it in 2010, the ball fake shit, like he was the first person to call me free agency. Like, yo, you want to come be a Laker? Anyone crazy enough to fuck with me is crazy enough. And he went and got Ron the year before when Ron was in Houston. He's like, I'm tired of wrestling with you crazy motherfuckers. Come fuck with me.
Well, I tried to link with him and I couldn't get him on the line. And people was like, yo, man, shit, man, let's do what you gonna do, shit. You know, Pete, shit, I'm putting over here, nigga, you know what I'm saying? and Chauncey and T. Lou, we used to all work out together in LA, and we was all together in Minnesota. When they say that you can go talk to people, that's when they done with you. When they give you permission to go talk to other teams, and when they give you permission to entertain other options, they over you.
They done moved on.
So y'all don't know, yo, I get up at like 4:30. You know why I get up at 4:30? Because I live in LA, and it's a cat in New York getting up at 7. He up already, working already. Actually, if he got up at 6, I'm an hour and 30 behind this cat. So I used to think like this. Amari in New York, there's some cats on the East Coast, they already working in Atlanta. Damn, I'm late. So I used to hit the beach like 4:30. And then I used to go through all this with the workout, then the gym, and then I'm done by like 12, right? And then I used to think like, damn, yo, they don't even respect that. A nigga get up and do this every day like this. Then they gonna let me just, so I started losing appreciation for them appreciating me. And I was like, you know what, somewhere somebody else gonna show you some love, you know, or so you hope so. And then I sat with Chauncey and them, because they used to meet me in the workout, in the middle of the workout when we went to the gym. And they was like, Chauncey, like, dawg, you gotta get off that shit. Him and T. Lou was just showing me like, yo, this your chance to go get with somebody, and you can get with somebody real, and you can, man, that same shit you doing in soda, boy, you go put that with somebody else, boy, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, shit, I shouted at Kobe, he ain't really picked the line up, you know what I'm saying? So T. Lou and Cole close, so he was like, shoot at him again, see what he on. So I shot it, he ain't hit back, so I had to make a decision coming down. And then, you know, I'm making decisions by myself and shit, so this is the first time I'm talking to my wife at the time, and I'm like asking her, like, and she's like, go with your gut. So I was like, shit, Danny Ainge flew in, and he just got right to it and showed the vision. And the vision he was saying, you ever have somebody talk to you, and as they talking to you, you can see what they're saying so much that you're not even looking at them no more, but you see it. That's how he was painting. And like he was a Picasso, and this is Danny Ainge's greatness, and him being able to lure you in, his charming ass. You know what I'm saying? I didn't even know he was finessing me, and we was doing that. You know what I'm saying? We up there doing that. You know what I'm saying? Saucy like a motherfucker, right? But then what I did know, I had watched him a couple times, and when I first saw a film of Rondo in Madison Square Garden, he got the crazy clip of he scored the ball, I think he stole it, and then get an and one and something, so I saw that. But I thought his name, my ADD ass, thought he was African or some shit. So I was like, yeah, what's up with the little African guards y'all got up there and shit, man? So he was like, you talking about Sebastian? I was like, nah, I know Sebastian. I'm talking about the little African nigga. So they like, African? You like, African? I was like, yeah. Rajon or something. He was like, oh, you talking about Rajon? You talking about Rondo? Like, yeah, Rondo.
From Louisville, Kentucky.
You gotta keep the little African kid, yo. If I come to boss, you gotta keep the African kid, because he was in the package. I was like, He's like, I think he's gonna. I said, no, we can't do it then. And then I actually called Steve Nash just to courtesy. And I guess the call he hit me back was like, yo, if you come down here, we need you to take a major pay cut. And I was like, okay, if I come down there, I'm playing with you and Amari, right? He's like, yeah, I think they're gonna give Amari up for you and Sean. And I said, so who am I? Just me and you? He's like, yeah. I was like, so I gotta take a pay cut, and then I gotta get back in this position, and we in the West too, y'all. So this ain't, you know, I'm sitting here like, man. Let me think about all this shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I just sat on it. It's like, nah, I'm going to Beantown. Plus, it's the East Coast. I ain't never played the East Coast.
So you didn't give us a thought?
When I looked at all my options.
We was at the bottom.
Respectfully, though. You know what I'm saying? Because I was seeing how y'all was, but I needed a superstar in that whole mix. Y'all was like some bandits. Y'all was like the little rats on City of God, running around stealing, getting shot, you know what I'm saying? You had to respect them little niggas in there though, you know what I'm saying? Them rats, and y'all know City of God?
Yeah.
The little niggas in there, they was little hoodlums, they ran the street.
Like 20 of them.
That's how y'all was. We played y'all, it was like, oh man, they switch everything, they got this unorthodox. You thinking Steven here battling with you, stopping, hitting the three, now he get up, he dunking that. Like it was just so unorthodox at the time that y'all had y'all had the whole league like off the square, like. And then it's like, oh, they look like they just having fun. I can't come over there with my serious ass with all that. So, you know, synergy is everything, you know what I'm saying? So I'm just looking at it like, I want to play against them niggas too, though, you know what I'm saying?
On the inside, we looking at it like, boy, we can replace.
Can you imagine?
KG with Beedren, replace Beedren with KG.
Oh, it's a difference.
Wow.
It's different.
With all us on the outside, and actually having somebody throw them, because you know Al had to go at Yao Ming and shit like that.
And then when y'all don't know it, man, Al was suffering, but when Yao Ming turn, it's really nothing nobody can do, yo. Like Yao's jump shot is like all the way up here, like. You like on the turnaround, you like, oh man, there's no.
Hope he missed.
What am I doing? What am I doing?
We used to get Al 2 days off after we played Yao Ming.
I get it.
And you know what? Al used to actually keep him out the paint. Al used to keep him out the paint.
If you do your work early, and that's the kind of the lingo, and where you don't let him come down and sit on the block. Problem is, Yao Ming can damn near be at the three-point line and do the same turnaround and hit it like it was nothing. Yao's touch, oh man,
he was sick.
And shout to Yao Ming, man. Never be another Yao Ming like that, man. He was something special, yo,
for sure.
Straight up. But I ended up doing the Boston thing, and then on draft night they got Ray, and it made the whole deal a lot sweeter. And we was going after that, bro. I knew we was going, no bullshit. I knew we was going to win that shit. The first time we stepped into like the first, like, you know how like September coming, you all work out together. When I saw how that shit was, I had never been in like a first workout with guys I had never played with, and it was just it was just
clockwork.
It was just, and then the guys we was playing against, James Posey, fucking like we were just playing a bunch of Eddie House, a bunch of just Tony Allen, man, go get us, Big Perk, Leon Poe, Big Baby in here, Nate wasn't there yet.
Oh, next year.
Just the first year we was all together, and it was just, I heard folk come in, or I heard folk tell a story about when we first played, you know what I'm saying? Like it was, but the synergy was there day one. I knew we had a chance to get somewhere that we was not normal from doing this. This wasn't normal. This was above average right here. This is what I was looking for.
So you guys kind of started, through a different process, but the big three. Paul, yourself, you get Ray draft night, and the synergy's instant.
I guess so, yeah.
You know, the synergy's like instant. The synergy is instant.
Yeah, I guess when you put it like that, inadvertently, we wasn't like mapping it out like that. I think Ray was trying to come back east too because of his, he had foundings in Connecticut and family that was, in that area or whatever. So he was just trying to come back and transition and kind of let that be like the tail end and be on that side. So I think it was all just synergy with him, and it just all came together. It helped that Paul and I was friends. I knew Ray and we were friends. But we didn't know none of the younger guys. TA was a younger version of Chicago when I was in Chicago. Leon Poe, they was all younger versions. Big Baby, he was all younger versions. I had new Perk, I played against Perk. Perk and I used to play like, we used to bang. I mean, like really have issues with each other to where I had to ask Pete, like, yo, you know, we coming over here, Perk gonna be okay? Cause man, you don't know, like when we go at it, we really
about to fight.
It'd be like, you know how like if one person like go like this, like
it's over.
Bam, you know, I wasn't gonna wait, you know what I'm saying?
You can't get fired on second. That's a big nigga. You gotta get off
come
first.
down like that. And I was just like, yo, why this little hot-head nigga, like this garbage ass nigga coming out here like you cool, right? This, nigga, you trash, nigga. I'm not gonna interact with you, nigga. Like, who is this? Not knowing that he coming out of high school, he looking up to me, he trying to set his shit right.
I raised him. That's
but
why
I'm
he
like
that.
You don't give a fuck who you is, nigga. Who? Kendrick, who? You a nobody, nigga. You nobody. I gave him 12 like real quick. I better get this nobody off me out here. Who you talking to? I ain't know nobody, nigga. What you want to do, nigga? You ain't said nothing, nigga. What you want to do, nigga? I'm balling out. You know what I'm saying? That's fine all day.
Yeah. That's him
No, I
all
don't know
day,
what you
dog.
saying, nigga. What you saying? Speak up, nigga. Then I headbutted him. Speak up, nigga. You ain't talking loud enough, nigga. We both got texts. You know what I'm saying? But I'm going. And then Tony Battie on that team. They a bunch of young cats, Al Jefferson. So I'm in here goaltending they shit, throwing that, peace, no, that shit out of here, mine. You know what I'm saying? Just messing with him, seeing what, you know, if they, you know.
Where he was.
So they, you know, as we say, I'm gonna see if he gonna scratch. And they scratching. So I'm like, okay. Yeah, I like these young cats. I knew what I had with that. You know what I'm saying? Because there was a whole bunch of young guys coming up in the league that we was needing to have some young guys that kind of, you know, met that too. So it was good.
Tell me what it was like getting a chance to play with Paul Pierce, because to me, he's one of the most underrated scorers, clutch motherfuckers in the history of the game.
Best footwork all time.
Listen, man, me and P played together very young in life. And if anybody know P is very similar to like a Steph or like an AI. When I interact with like I would say a bigger ego than mine, I play the second. And if anybody know me, know that I'm a very confident person, very sure person, and I can play the side. I'm never gonna play the front. If it's a side door, I'm off to the side. I'm more of a shadow person. My nigga P is totally opposite from that. He wanna come through the front door, he won't let me ignore him, the truth, he gonna, you know, he's swag.
Yeah.
So with that, he was always able to back that up when we was talking trash or when we got into whatever. It wasn't something that he couldn't get himself out of, but that's how he operated. He needed that extra whatever, that oomph or that swag to get him to perpetuate. And I saw him in some of the most critical moments be very calm and very even played and even killed, to where he was so sure of himself, to where he took big shots and he hit them. My favorite P joint is him and Al Harrington.
Yeah,
like people don't know that these two are really good friends, and we're all really good friends. And these are two monsters. If anybody know Al ain't backing down from nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like Al ain't going nowhere. Y'all think Jack, like imagine Jack, well, nah, I can't say that with another 200 pounds, but Al is just right there. Jack, like Meta World Peace, Jack, Al, you getting the same, ooh, you better come with a hard hat. And when he was talking that shit, he was like, yeah, I'm finna hit you in the head right here.
I'm letting you know.
I'm letting you know right now. Well, let me see it then. Let me see. Okay, you want to see it? And I was like, oh. And when P hit, like straight, that's one of my favorite basketball moments, just because both of those guys are my friends. But I was able to take something from Paul, that some of that even kill, some of that calmness, some of that laser, like, you know, you think you focus until you see somebody else do their or go through their whatevers. And I was able to, you know, take some of that calmness and incorporate it into some of my own game to where I thought it made me a better player. But P is probably one of the more underrated players of all times that we have in our history that don't get enough slack or don't get enough recognition.
I mean, Doc, definitely, we had our arguments, and that's what pushed my button though, because he was real with you. He'll let you know when you ain't playing to your potential and you taking days off, or who you supposed to, like, Pete, what are you know, he taught me to be a real leader, you know, to do it every night in practice and start in practice, and it'll carry in the game. And, you know, he was able to teach me that. Because I was frustrated at first, man, like playing on so many bad teams. Oh, man, I was just like, People don't know I was almost out of Boston.
That's what I wanted to ask in 2007. Tell me about that. I wanted to ask that.
I was almost out of Boston, dog.
Talk about
I'm
that.
telling you, I was having meetings with the ownership. Like, this ain't working. This is the year before we got KG. This is the year Kevin Durant was in college. I was like, we lost 18 in a row. So I'm like, we weak. I'm in my prime.
Right. But for real, you wasting your time. You in your prime.
Like, straight up.
We
weak. I'm like, I'm in my prime, and then we losing. We not getting to the playoffs. I was like, man, y'all should trade me. Draft Kevin Durant, tank the year, and build on out. So I thought I was really trying to get to Dallas. So people don't even know I was trying to get to Dallas.
The dirt.
Really?
The dirt. Because they got upset.
By us.
Yeah, y'all popped up, and I was like, damn, I'll give them. That team.
Come on, man.
I was like, I would have been the team to help them get over the top.
No
that was a good reason for me to I can help that team.
That.
They needed you.
Yeah, I was like, if I could get there, that's like they gonna win 50 games. They just need me over there. I felt like I had to talk with Cuban.
Could you imagine that?
Like I was trying to get to Dallas,
us.
but they was like, we're gonna stick with you. We're gonna build this team out. And we didn't get the number 1 pick. And the rest history, we wound up getting the 5th pick, trading for Ray, then traded for KG. And now we own. In 1 year, how things can just turn around. Like,
so how many games did you guys win the year before?
Man, I think we only won like 25 games, maybe.
And then you won the finals the next year.
And then win the championship the next year.
Crazy.
That's how quick
Shout out Danny
it
Ainge.
changed.
Yeah.
Straight up. It changed overnight.
Talk to us about that and what that team dynamic and chemistry and how it all came together. You guys are really the first big 3. Although it happened through trade.
It happened through trade.
It happened organically.
You know what I'm saying? A lot of people think we orchestrated this.
No, you guys are just the first big 3.
Danny Ainge got it through trade. Now everybody going to play with one another.
Right.
Ours was done organically,
right.
Straight up. And so when we traded for Ray, I was like, oh, okay, we not rebuilding no more. We trying to do something. Then I heard we traded for Ticket. We got Ticket.
I don't mean to throw this under the bus, throw nobody under the bus, but y'all big 3 to me was you, Rondo, and KG. I didn't put Ray in y'all big 3. Go ahead.
No, Ray in there. You gotta respect Ray, though. As much as we had beef with Ray.
We're gonna get to Ray. We're gonna get there.
You gotta respect Ray.
Don't throw that in there.
Talk to us about
you
that.
talking about personality wise. I mean, the personality. You remember the personality of that team? It was just like all alphas, dog. It was just Rondo, KG, me, Tony Allen. Perk, Big Baby.
Posey. People forget about Posey.
Eddie House. Eddie House was a dog.
Powell was a big, what's Powell?
Leon Poe.
Big strong motherfucker. Poe, big strong motherfucker.
Man, dog. Oh, man. Our team was dogs.
Yeah.
Like, people were scared of us. We was out there D'ing up, too. I mean, I'll never forget those moments because when you play so long and you have a chance to play on special teams, y'all all been on special teams. It don't come around a lot. You could be one of the lucky few ones to have a stretch, but you just appreciate those times you could play on those special teams, and you can attest to this, and you can too.
It's family, it's building. Talk to me a little bit about, because we was laughing about it on set of ESPN maybe a month ago about Club Shiznit.
Oh, Club Shiznit. Oh, shout out to Club Shiznit.
Club Shiznit is.
That was a spot in my, I had a basement that was like a club. And so, on days when we didn't have practice the next day, we like, all right, fellas, we're going to have a good time in my house. I'm going to have a chef come through. We're going to go out. We're going to meet at my house at like 2 a.m. We're going to go to about 6 a.m.
We're going to do it.
All the guys on the team, and we invite girls over, and we go from 2 to 6. And be like, this is Club Shiznit. You know what I'm saying? We're going to be here 2 to 6. We're going to have a good time right here.
Can't get no trouble.
Can't get no trouble. We're going to be good right here. I'm going to make sure everybody good, and we're going to go home.
Right.
And like the players love that. Tony Allen, oh man,
Perk was talking about it.
Oh, it was a good time for the fellas. But that's how we built our camaraderie. You know what I'm saying? That's how we kicked it, though.
Right.
I was the vet, so I'm going to bring in all the young boys. That's how we going to kick it. And that brought chemistry.
So
66 wins.
Right.
Shit, that's chemistry, goddammit.
So when GP first got the Club Shiznit, he was he got traded to Boston. He did not want to be in Boston, but once he went to Shiznit, he was over.
He was sold off Club Shiznit.
He was sold.
Shout out GP.
So in the midst of getting your first finals as an LA kid, you're renewing the Boston Laker rivalry. You and Kobe are always going head to head. Now you're doing it in the finals.
Man, that was incredible just to be a part of that. You know, just growing up watching it, and then finally being part of it. It was just like, you know, this was what got me in the hoops. You know, being a Laker fan, watching the Celtics. I hated the Celtics, and now I'm part of the rivalry again, meeting in the finals, and to do it twice. That was special. You know, who'd have thought a kid from LA play in Boston, play against the Lakers in the championship and win. And then play against them again. Like, my only 2 finals was against the Lakers.
Did you feel like you had to win? As a Celtic, you had to, like, being one of the best players to play in the Boston Celtics uniform, you had, like, your career can't be right unless you win one?
Without a doubt.
No question.
I mean, like, you got to understand, Jack, you go to practice every day. This is hanging over your head.
Goddamn right.
16 banners, all the numbers. I'm like, dude, look at that pressure. If I want to be one of these cats, I got to put one up here.
Yeah.
I mean, straight up. This is every day. You got to see this. Like, oh, Bill Russell in the stands, JoJo White in the stands, 16. I mean, like, I got to live. If I want to be one of them, I got to.
Yeah.
That was enormous pressure, man. But I wanted that. I wanted that.
Talk to us too, because I think if I'm not mistaken, is that the game you went off at? Game 1, you went off in a wheelchair and came back.
Yeah.
Talk to us about that, because I heard so many different stories.
Wrong with you, P.
Why?
Wasn't nothing wrong with you, P.
Wasn't nothing wrong with
you, P. Ain't no way you can go out, get carted off, P, and come back and drop buckets. I'm sorry, P. Ain't no way. P got scrolled up in the wheelchair like he tore a whole Achilles.
I was like, damn, Paul done.
No, look, I turned it. It was a light sprain. I ain't gonna lie, it was a light sprain. But you know, I ain't never heard a pop. I heard a pop, but it was a light sprain.
You automatically think the worst.
I'm thinking the worst.
That's
like,
how we do.
It was like hurting. I was like, I was like, and then I was like, hold on, that wheelchair. Let me tell you something.
How did that happen?
Look. The doctor was like, get the wheelchair. Like, it wasn't like I was like I couldn't walk. It was like, I know it looked dramatic now, because when I look at it, it's way more dramatic. They didn't even give me a chance to try to get up and put no weight.
You just put your leg up and all.
I'm all getting carried out in the wheelchair. Like, no, I look at it too, and I'm like, this is super dramatic.
I think you should have rolled back out there in the wheelchair, just hopped up. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you went out of the
rolled himself out there.
No, but they didn't even give me the chance to try to get up and put some weight on it. You know, usually they was like, just pick him up. And so they picked me up, and I'm like, oh, shit. I'm like, oh. Then they was like, get the wheelchair. So that wasn't all on me. And so I was like, hold on. When I get to the back, I'm like, hold on, man. Let me see how I feel. I ain't put no weight on it yet.
Yeah.
You know, it's hurting. So I get up, I put some weight on it, so it feel like a little light sprain. So I'm like, oh, okay, I'm good. I was just panicking.
Right. You realize what's at stake too?
Yeah, and I'm like, I can't go out. I can't be out of the finals.
No. Right.
Come on, man. No, not right now. So I put some weight on it. I'm like, all right, I'm cool. All right, look, give me a knee brace. Like, I put the knee brace on and just like went back out there. Like, man, I was like, all right.
But see, the good
my
thing
adrenaline was still flowing, dog. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
This is the finals.
Right.
It's the Lakes. I was like, come on, not right now. This is what my whole life I waited for this.
This moment.
Man, I had to get that. I said, put the knee brace on, went out there. And I was like, I'm about to bust their ass.
You went to work.
Yeah. You winning the championship and finals MVP. Tell me was that like your first one, and you get the finals MVP.
Man, that was like a dream come true, man, straight up. You know the hours we put in this gym. You know the sacrifice we put into this game. You know, I mean, it's just to get to that point, like finally 10 years in my career, like people don't know the sacrifice, the blood I spilled, the sweat I done sweated, you know, the late hours, the not being around family members, missing so much stuff is because of that.
Mm-hmm.
We dedicate our whole life to just this. I mean, when you retire, you look back at it, it's like, damn, I did that for the game. That's how much we loved it, though. It was just like a dream. Oh, man. So, like, I get the trophy. Look, check this out, though. I fly to L.A. We go to Vegas, we party. Then I get to L.A. Famous restaurant on Sunset, Katana.
Mm-hmm.
I go up there with all my boys. It's like about 10, 15 of us.
Can't tell you shit.
You can't tell me nothing.
Tell you
I'm
shit.
walking around all summer with a wife beater on. I got my trophy in my hand, and I went outside on the patio and sat the trophy right there in front of everybody, right in the middle of L.A. I'm like, boom, we gonna kick back and eat, drink. Man, I must tell you, dog, they hated that so bad. Oh my god.
This pre-social media though. Imagine if that was on
this was on
media.
social media.
Right.
I'm in the middle of LA, one of the hot restaurants where everybody kick it at, and I put the
Celtics
trophy
championship trophy.
and put the trophy right there on the table and sit outside, everybody looking. I got my crew with me like, yeah, what?
And I'm the MVP, nigga.
I'm back. Like what?
Home for the summer.
My swag was through the roof. Oh, you couldn't tell me nothing, dog. You couldn't tell me nothing.
Crazy, because we when we talked to Kobe, that he said that was one of the hardest hits in his career, losing to you guys in that the finals in 08.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about that, he got it back. Oh, that's the one I'll never forget. That one he got back from us in 2010. Oh man, I know he said that was his sweetest one too.
Yeah.
He said that was the one.
Yeah, the loss to y'all was the toughest, and the win was the sweetest.
Doing it without Shaq.
Yeah.
Yep, doing it without Shaq. Oh man, that was Cole. We had 4 All-Stars, dude. You know that? We had 4 He was the only All-Star. Him and Pau. He had 2. He had Pau Gasol, but he toughened Pau Gasol up.
Oh man,
because that first finals we ran through Pau Gasol.
Oh, I've seen Kobe obliterate Pau Gasol, and I pulled Pau to the side like, bro.
You can't let this happen.
But just I hear what he's saying, but let me just.
He made.
You know how crazy I am. I had to like, you good?
Yeah, it was that bad.
Like nigga, Kobe go at Pau's head, but like you said, he made him a lot tougher.
He made him a Hall of Famer.
Yeah,
good call.
Yeah,
he made him a Hall of Famer.
Good call.
Without Kobe, Pau just
another skilled hero. I don't think you could teach dog, but Kobe put some of his dog in Pau. And it's funny that you recognize that too.
I saw the difference in his game. In that second finals,
whatever language Pau needed it, Kobe would have cussed him out in that language. Well, Kobe didn't fuck around when it came to losing, man. He did not fuck around. Take me back though, because we jumped to both the rivalry, but people don't know, like, Bron couldn't get through you. Bron couldn't get through you in the Celtics in Cleveland.
Man, we had some battles.
Talk about those battles. You guys had some epic battles.
We had some battles, dog. Bron brought the best out of me, though. I ain't gonna lie. When you know you playing against the best, he gonna bring it out of you. Because if not, you gonna get embarrassed.
Yeah.
And you know, when I watch him today, I'm like, man, cats are scared of him.
Totally.
Like
terrified.
He put the fear of God in everybody. I'm like, what is going on here? No, I wasn't having that. I wanted that. I wanted that challenge.
All the smoke.
I wanted all of that. All right, I'm gonna guard him today. You gonna guard me? Because I'm guarding you today.
Right.
And I'm gonna take it. You gonna have to hit me upside my head all night. And
that's
I'm
how
gonna live
go.
with it. And I'm gonna live with it. I mean, I know you Bron and all, but so I'm truth.
Right.
What? What? And so, man, he really elevated my play. I mean, I'd had my career high versus him when I scored 50 on. We both scored. I had 50. People don't know I had 50 on him. He had like 46 on me in one regular season game, and just those playoff battles.
Man,
he knew I was gonna bring it. You know, I know I never was at LeBron's level, but I know I can. For one day, I can be at his level.
Come on, man.
Maybe not every day, but for that one day when we need it, I could be there.
Yeah.
And that's what I was able to do. I mean, that game 7 in the conference, in the playoffs, would go down like one of my favorite games, just how we competed. It was. I didn't realize it because I remember I was like, it happened so fast. Like the game adrenaline was still going. And like people calling me like, did I just watch this? Like, I'm like, what? You know, but my adrenaline, I'm not like realizing how epic it was until like down the road. And when I look at it now, it's like that was a game that really helped solidify kind of like my career too, put me at the next level.
Losing in 2010, you said it hurt. You talking about Kobe winning, but how did that affect you?
Man, the 2010, I still not have watched that game. 7. We were up double figures in that game. I still haven't watched it to this day.
Really?
Still to this day. I don't know if I could. Like, I'm like looking like what could have been a second championship. Like that. I don't think I'll ever watch that game. I don't even know if any of the other players watch it because it was in our hand too.
Yeah.
It was in our hand.
And to beat the Lakers again.
And to do it on their floor. And that would have been like, dang, I won at home now. Oh man.
That's the game when Ron hit the three?
Yeah.
Ron was balling. But, that was, I'm going to hat off to Ron, man, straight up, because I was matched up with him. He came to play that game, but it was to take the lesser of two evils.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, do we let
Ron all day?
Do we let Ron shoot, or do we try to crowd Kobe?
You gonna crowd Kobe?
Yeah, you
That's
go
on everybody's scouting report.
It's like I'm gonna be helping off him because we gonna try to stop him.
Yeah.
And the hats off to him. He knocked down some big shots for them. And,
That should have been in the fan programs too. Crowd Kobe. Everybody in the arena, crowd Kobe.
Yeah, crowd Kobe.
Shit.
It's like as soon as he grabbed the ball, my eyes is on him.
Word.
I'm like, I don't care who this is. This is Kobe right here.
A month later, KG gets traded from Minnesota. What's your initial thoughts?
You know what? I'm gonna keep it gangster, man. I wouldn't even. My initial thoughts, I was just like, God damn, I didn't expect it to be like that crazy.
This is your first year in the NBA?
This is my first year, so it's like when he came, I didn't know what I was a part of until when I got there to the gym to play pickup. That's how I seen like, okay, this shit magical. And I'm a part of it.
You seen it right from the jump?
Yeah. My first pickup game was amazing. Like, not amazing, but like, scary, but
right.
As far as in the arena.
What y'all got?
You know what I mean? Because KG, I was guarding KG at the time, and he like cussed me the fuck out. Like, I'm talking about really cussed me out. Like I shoot a shot, right? It's my first day, and I make it. And I'm like telling myself, like, get up, get it up. I'm talking to myself. He like, bitch ass nigga, who you talking to? And I'm like, I'm from BR. So, I'm like, okay. Thinking to myself, like, okay, I need to respond. It's like jail. Like, okay, can't let nobody talk to you like that first day in
Not
jail.
at all.
So I'm like, I'm just trying to get my swag. I'll just say it to him politely, though. I don't say nothing like, I'm trying to get my swag. Because I try to give people like 3 strikes. You know what I mean?
That was one.
That was one for KG.
One for KG.
Right? I didn't want to give him one, but I gave him one.
You had to.
The second strike, I said, well, I'm trying to get my swag. And he's like, fuck your swag. Like, loud. And I'm looking around like,
strike 2.
I gotta say something.
Yeah.
And then, I say, fuck your swag. And he looking at him like, yeah, okay. So, because he kind of seen that, like.
He liked that, though.
Yeah, he liked it,
yeah.
You know what I mean? But he kind of seen it, and I was just like, damn, I really said fuck your swag to KG. Like, my first day. And so I'm like, damn, hopefully he just leave it there and don't bring it to tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
So I try to meet him at the waffle station, right? Because I feel like that's
the next morning?
That's the easiest place to talk to somebody at the waffle station, right?
The waffle station?
Yeah, right? When you making your waffles in the morning.
What'd you put on your waffles?
Just syrup and butter.
Keep it simple.
Yeah, no berries.
Yeah, no whipped cream.
Nah.
Okay.
So he likes his waffles, and he doesn't say nothing to me while he's making his waffles. So you ignore somebody. That's scary. Like I'm like, oh shit. While he's making a waffle, you know what I mean? And so, I he didn't say nothing to me the whole day, and then I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna talk to him. And I was like, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I thought we, let that over yesterday. I apologize, man. The man, he was like, you know what, young fella, I like you, man. It's all good, bro. You good.
That's dope. So how did you guys, because I heard you guys had a great relationship. How did you guys' relationship kind of flourish after that?
I was at Ticket University after that. I ain't graduated from no other school. Like, I was his rook. Everything he did, everything, I was there. Like, every peanut butter and jelly I made. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
what kind of stuff did he have you doing?
It had its perks, though.
Let me hear what he had you doing, then I want to hear some of the perks.
Like, for example, like, one time he tried to take me shopping. And, I'm a good rook. I ain't gonna ask for nothing. I'm just sitting, chilling. Like, he like, get something. I'm like, nah, man, I don't want nothing. He's like, nigga, get something. Like, I'm like, damn. So he goes and put a scarf on my neck.
He put a scarf on you?
Yeah, he like, here, here's a scarf. This fly, nigga. I'm like, damn, okay. He like, and then he taught me about scarves. He taught me about hats, you know what I'm saying? So That's like kind of stuff he did.
That's
like,
dope.
you know what I mean? Like, or like Boo Ray. You know Boo Ray, right? We play Boo Ray.
Mm-hmm.
He'll stunt on everybody else. Like, if they got 50s in there, he'll give them to me. Because he don't like 50s.
He only want 100s?
He only want 100s. So I'm the rook like, yeah. I got 4,000 worth of 50s.
Fuck it. It could be ones.
It all add up the same.
It used to be so bad, dog. Like, we had, like, Perkins and Leon used to get mad. We had a whole team meeting, like, Ticket don't hang out with us. Perkins did that. Like, oh, man, Ticket. It's a real story. We had a whole team meeting. Perk like, Ticket, you always hanging out with baby.
You see his face. What's wrong with this dude, man?
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how much our relationship was.
Right.
Like,
y'all was tight.
Yeah, we was tight as hell.
That's
so,
dope.
you know, that me and him, I got so much, like, just crazy shit with him, man. It was crazy.
Take me back to 21-year-old Rondo being the floor general to win your first championship in Boston with, like you said, the likes of Kevin Garnett, Ray Allen, Paul Pierce. You guys had a hell of a team. I think Tony Allen was on that team too, wasn't he?
Yeah.
TA, you guys had a lot of different personalities, but you were the one. You were the from the outside looking in, you were the pulse of the team, but you were the youngest at the same time. So what was it like navigating that team, and what did you learn from actual on the court experience, and then also having Doc next to you? Because I've personally, Doc would tell stories how you guys would butt heads sometimes because you see things one way, he sees things one way. So get into that shit for us.
So shit, let's start with the Doc. Doc. Man, my first year, we lost 18 straight at one point. So I'm like, man, what the fuck, yo? Like, I can't get no burn. You know what I mean? I ain't even get me in the game. He's just, I don't know. I'm gonna get into a little bit. I ain't go crazy on it. We used to get into it, basically. So, fast forward, the trade happened, the same year, 7 players go. KG, I heard KG said he wanted me to stay. So, boom, we win a championship. But throughout that year, it was tough, yo. But Doc helped me get through it, obviously. Understanding, I think he played with 2 Hall of Famers at the time, and just how to navigate and keep those guys happy. I think I'm blessed and fortunate. Like I said, I played baseball, football, basketball, all 3 growing up. So I kind of had that leader mentality, leader mindset growing up as far as just being a believer and being a student of the game, whatever I wanted to accomplish. And that'll show those guys or earn their respect, back with my knowledge and my work ethic. You can't deny me or you can't, not hand me the keys. And, giving them granted, they didn't, necessarily obviously want to give me the keys at first. I had to earn their respect. I did that throughout the season. They instilled trust in me. I communicated to my guys all the time on the court. You know what I mean? Like, I pride myself on having the most touches. There's a stat back in the day when Steve played, and I think one year he had beat me in most touches with his teammates. You know what I mean? As far as like coming back, running back on defense, touch, or coming out of timeouts, touch. Like, that mindset, also helped me kind of earn their respect and just the gathering that I could probably kind of bring teams together.
Bro, I don't mean to cut you off, but see. That's how you set them apart. Who thinks about stuff like that?
That's crazy,
bro?
right? I love hearing this shit. I love it.
Damn, that's crazy. I didn't even know that was a stat.
Yeah, it was a stat. I saw Steve beat me one year. I was like, damn, that motherfucker beat me. I mean, like that's just like I said how I am. But it wasn't forceful. Like I said, it's always me being the point. You know what I mean? Like everybody runs past the point guard. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, like, okay, good shot, good D. Way to set that pick. Like, just, positive encouragement and talking to my team to where, we feel confident about what we're doing and we ready to lock the fuck in. Everybody know what we're doing.
Mm-hmm. Only stat Jack knew was motherfucking FGAs.
FGA. Speaking of that, though, that's what that's the key thing Danny told me Game 6 back in 2008. He was like, the most important stats tonight. FGAs. He said, put them up against Kobe. He said, put them up. No matter how you play, you got to be aggressive. I ended up shooting 21 field goals at that game.
See, I remember that, though, because I obviously, being in the league the same times, I remember Kobe used to play you under the free throw line sometimes. You know what I mean? And it kind of clogged the defense up for everyone else for all the curls and all the shit in the paint. And it took you to be more aggressive for him to come out and motherfucking guard you.
Right. So he was the first to do that. Then, obviously, he set the trend. You know what I mean? A couple years later, I think Brown was playing me like that in the playoffs. And they put a bigger guard on me. That type of mentality. So I was like, okay, cool. I got to figure out how to dissect this. I got, this is playoff. Okay, I get it. Okay, now I got to elevate. Because I think throughout the playoffs, no one had played me that way. And then Kobe, that's why, rest in peace, one of the greats. And I love competing against him because he understood the mindset of the game and just how to, it was a chess match out there, and I love playing against it with him. And also, obviously, got to give Phil Jackson credit as well.
What is it about like you and like J Kidd, like even J Kidd, like y'all wasn't shooters now. Now they can't leave y'all open.
That's what he tell me too. But now, just working and not giving a fuck. You know what I mean? Shit. That's what the was going to.
But on some real shit, that not giving a fuck meter has to be really high. And to me, that's the only thing holding Ben Simmons back right now is that I don't give a fuck meter. And once you get over that I don't give a fuck meter, you good.
The crazy part is you look around the league, this nigga shooting 3 for 17. I'm like, what the fuck?
Come on, for real.
This nigga, they say he shit go. Okay, bet. All right, okay, cool. All right, let me get up 12-3. Nigga, I'm a 5 of them motherfuckers too. What you talking about?
Yeah, exactly.
For real. But you got to get over that though. Like you said, what was it difficult for you to get over that? You embraced it right away because you are a pass first type of guy. So was it hard for you to actually take that mentality on?
It was, still at times, it's just my mindset is always thinking open man. But, the way the game is played today, the way I'm able to stay in the league now, like I said, they've been telling me I got to take it. So, like I said, I'm looking for that motherfucker. I'm trying to get him up. You know what I mean?
We had the luxury of interviewing Rondo, KG, Paul. We just interviewed Perk last week. And, Rondo was adamant about, you shaped him not only as a player, but a man. And then to hear what he did for you and be able to hold that team accountable, that's a dope. For me, interviewing, that's just dope because he told me how much you meant to him, and then you're telling me how much he meant to that team. Obviously, it was a special moment.
It was. And, Matt, I remember when I first started coaching, I got a lot of bad advice from other coaches, honestly, that you don't get close to players. You don't get involved in their lives. And I couldn't disagree with that more. I think you do. Now, unfortunately, you'll lose a relationship here and there because you're being honest with a guy. He's in a place doing something in his life. I don't get involved in the silly stuff, but I just get involved in the man stuff.
Right.
And I just tell them the truth sometimes. And sometimes that goes well and sometimes it doesn't. But at the end of the day, it needed to be said. And, I'm glad I've done it. And with Rondo and Perk, because they were so young, man, like there were times you had to get involved. That's not the way you carry yourself. That's not what you do, and they didn't want to hear it. And both of them guys. But at the end of the day, what it did, it built a relationship that'll last forever.
Absolutely. So what is your message? Obviously, you got your own big three now. What is your message to that team? Because obviously on paper, you look incredible. The expectations are through the roof. What are you telling the guys at this point?
Right now, it's not really a message, man. It's work. Like we have work to do. We're so far from being there. And so, but the biggest thing I would say, the one word with this group is accountability. Like this team needed to be held accountable for not just their play, for their actions, for everything. And not just me holding them accountable. We got to hold each other accountable. We got to all be accountable. And I think we're not there, but we're working on it. We're much better.
I love it. Ubuntu, I probably pronounced it wrong. Tell me what that word meant and why it was so perfect for that team.
It's really perfect for everyone in everyday life. A person is a person through other people. I can't be all I can be unless you are all you can be. I can never be one of the greatest words in Ubuntu, and it's a philosophy. It's not just a word.
Okay.
Desmond Tutu and Mandela used it to unify Africa. And so when you go to Africa, they're trying to live an Ubuntu life. And one of the greatest words or meaning or parts in it is this thing: I can never be threatened by your good, because your good means I'm good. Right. You guys have been on teams where when one player starts being good, another player's threatened by it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
The Clippers.
Man, you said it, not me. But you know what's funny, Matt? You notice I didn't use the Ubuntu stuff?
No, we did. We were a different group, obviously. Like you said, every group was different.
You know, it's funny. Sam Like, why won't you use Mbutu with this group? I said, because we don't deserve it. I'm not wasting that word. I'm not even using it. And, and so that team didn't, unfortunately. That team bugs me to this day.
Oh, man. You and everybody else, Doc. You and everybody else.
Man, I tell you, and Matt, you probably heard about some of the meetings.
Yeah. Hold on. But let's get through we're gonna get there. Let's get through the Celtics because I want to hear about this. So after you get through, you pick the word, you guys are bonding with it. What are practices like? Because like I said, that was one thing that all four of those guys had mentioned that practices were fucking wars.
It was awesome. I got to tell you on that word though. So I come up with this word. I get it introduced to me by a trustee at Marquette. I'm on the board at Marquette as a trustee, and another one told me I need to study this word, and I did. So I love it. So I decided the first day of practice is in Rome. And so I grabbed Big Baby, Leon Poe, I can't remember the other rookies, but those were two of them. And we sit in my room for about 2 hours. It's like study hall. And I told them they're going to present this word to the team, and they can see that I was not messing around. Like, it ain't a joke. Like, we're not going to have fun with this. You're going to present this. And I got to tell you, Leon Poe and Baby, that next day, they threw down. Like, they hit every point, everything. And so they call in Celtics 1, 2, 3 and Mbutu. And then practice starts. And the first practice, guys, this is what I knew. I said, we're on to something. Paul Pierce calls one of those superstar fouls, in practice. We're scrimmaging, second unit versus first unit. Paul gets fouled. That's a foul. Poe's like, no, you ain't getting that. And Paul says, it's a foul. Paul, I want the ball. And so me and Tom Thibodeau are sitting there, and Tibbs looks at me, you going to get involved? I said, no. So I want to see where this is going. and so they're arguing, and then Posey just grabs the ball to Paul's hands and inbounds it, and they start going the other way. and Eddie House makes a three and starts talking crap. Eddie House.
Yes.
Can't stop
Tony Allen then picks Ray, goes down and dunks the ball and starts talking. And Leon Poe and Baby, they were on the first unit. They're like, no, we don't care who y'all are. Y'all have not beaten us. And the second unit destroyed them. That first, they beat them all three scrimmages.
Wow.
And on the bus back, they're all the talk because the phones wouldn't work, which I thought helped. We're in Europe. That next day, it was a devastation. The first unit, they beat the second unit so bad, it was unbelievable.
I knew that was coming.
And every day it was back and forth, and you loved it. Man, if you got a second group, or if you have role players that have the ability to keep the stars accountable, they understand who they are, but we ain't letting you get away with crap.
Right.
Man, you got a hell of a team. And that's what we had. Posey was huge on that team because of that.
What was it like having KG and his energy around every day? Because his energy is not just on the court, it's off the court, but particularly on the court. What was it like, his energy, and how infectious was that?
He changes the culture just with his actions every day. I've never seen a superstar that holds himself so accountable to the team. And every day, me and him have some MF days because I would try to take him out of practice. And he didn't want to come out of practice. He used to mumble, crazy stuff like
all the time.
Warriors don't come out of practice. Warriors don't come out of practice. I was like, all right, Warrior, well, you just got to sit down right now. I know Paul and him told you, so what he would do when you took him out of practice, he would start standing on the sideline and mocking what his guy was doing who was in for him. Like if the guy jumped, he would jump. If the guy slid, he would slide. He was running on the side of the court like he was running in the scrimmage.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting like, this dude is crazy.
This is he's a real nut.
Yeah. And I didn't buy, Kevin was one of those guys, from afar, you're like, there's no way this energy is real. Come on, man. Nobody's got this much energy.
It is.
And then after 2 days of practice, I was like, this dude is real. It's for real. And it was every day. I loved how he held everybody accountable. Don't mess up and shoot around, Matt. Now with KG. Oh, man. And then by the end of it, which I knew was hilarious, then Rondo started doing it. Like, Rondo knew every play from 5 years ago. Like, he knows everything. And with Rondo, with me and Tom Thibodeau, he couldn't wait for us to make a mistake.
He'd be on your ass, huh?
Oh, he loved it. It made his day. He would actually laugh, like in shoot around. If I actually said, like Matt Barnes, he goes right one. No. He goes left. I mean, so it made you study. Like, I got to get this right.
You had to be on
your shit. This little joker's going to be on me.
Absolutely.
So it was a great group to coach.
I have a question. From the outside looking in, from the three superstars, it looked like, as players when we watched, that KG was kind of the one that took a step back and allowed Paul to continue to be great, Ray to do what he does, and he just plugged any kind of hole you guys had on either side of the ball.
Yeah, I would say that's true, even though I thought Ray probably had to give up the most shots.
Yeah.
But KG was the easiest in that respect. But KG would do anything. I got on KG more, and I hope Paul didn't told you the story before the Cleveland game 1. I kept saying the word 20. I said, so 20. And the word is 20. And I kept saying 20. And everybody was looking at me. Kevin Garnett has to take 20 shots. 20 shots.
Has
20.
to.
I said it like 19 times. And finally, the whole team started joining in. 20. And Kevin was pissed because, because we needed him. I think Antoine Jamison was a power forward, and that was an advantage for us. And so Kevin, that first couple of games went off, but we needed him to do that.
Right.
Because you had to get on Kevin to shoot because he was such a team player.
Right.
That he wanted to keep the ball moving and play the right way. And I used to tell him, Kevin, sometimes we're moving the ball to you.
Right, that's the point.
we don't want you to pass it once it hits you.
Right.
But he was great.
Yeah, so 66 wins that season, an elite defense. But when you guys get to the playoffs, it's wartime. The Hawks take you to 7. The Cavs take you to 7. LeBron had just coming off taking his team to the finals. That game 7 versus Cleveland. Talk to us a little bit about that.
That was a war. Our team hadn't been tested. Matt, we didn't lose 2 games in a row that whole year. So I was worried going into the playoffs. Someone asked me before the playoffs started, what's your one concern? I said, we've had no adversity. Usually you have to go through something. And so that 7-game series against Atlanta was exactly what we needed. Because we lost 2 games to Atlanta because of the city of Atlanta. I'm just going to stop there. But I'm just
Jack knows me. I live here, Doc. I know.
The city of Atlanta is undefeated, man. It's unbelievable. So we learned that lesson. Like, man, you got to do your job. Then we get to defending champs and LeBron, and we get to that game 7, man. Paul Pierce and LeBron. If you ever get time to watch a game, those 2 guys, they were matching. It was very similar to the Dominique Bird game. I mean, they were matching play by play, and the 2 biggest plays. One was a high school blockout on a jump ball. They had inside position, and LeBron didn't box out Paul, and Paul dove and got it in front of his legs. That gave us the ball. And then what we call the greatest wonder of the world happened. Eddie House passed the ball. He passed it to P.J. Brown, and P.J. Brown made a big shot. And think about that, how fortunate you are. P.J. Brown, over All-Star break, had retired.
Yep.
All-Star break is in New Orleans, and we decided to get in our car and go knock on his door and go get him. And we went and got him. So he was big for us.
You get Detroit in 6. What was memorable about that series?
Well, Detroit was the team to beat. Like, going into that season, we knew for us to make it to the finals, and what was crazy, number one, we knew it was the Lakers. The Lakers were going to win the West. Everyone knew that year. Like,
Cole was on a mission.
Yeah, he was on a mission, So we were thinking, okay, we got to beat Cleveland, and we got to go through Detroit. We hadn't lost a home game in the playoffs, and then game 2, Detroit comes in and beats us. Then we go back and beat them in game 3 and then close it out in game 6 on their floor. It was funny, Matt, like, and Jack, y'all both know this, but it's funny how people set these, like with the Clippers. I remember everyone said, you got to get to the Western Finals. I was like, that's it? That's not what I want.
No, you got to get the champion.
That's
not the goal.
Like, exactly. So it was funny. Like I didn't even stand on the stage. That's a like single-minded championship. If you ever look back when they're giving us the silver ball, I didn't stand on the stage. I just kind of stood off because it wasn't what I wanted. It wasn't, so like I don't know why, but I remember coming in. And after, because you're supposed to celebrate too, because you got to enjoy the journey.
Right.
So I come in and we're all celebrating, and I say, guys, this is great, but we don't want a silver ball. We want a gold ball.
The gold ball.
I said, so let's enjoy this moment, but it ain't about the silver ball.
Yeah. Right.
And so I think when you're on that journey, for people on the outside, they're looking at how great that is, and that's an accomplishment, but it's not what you want. It's not what you're in it for. And so that's what that felt like to me. Like, it was awesome knowing we're going to the finals. I didn't know what to expect. I was a coach that had never coached in the finals. I didn't know, like, what to expect. I just knew it was the Celtics and it was the Lakers. And I'm not kidding. It's exactly who we wanted to be there. Like, we wanted the Lakers to win the West. We wanted them to win the West. We wanted to be us and them.
Absolutely. So now you find yourself in the 2008 finals, smack dab in the middle of history, obviously with the two franchises and their winning ways, playing against Kobe. I want to jump right to game 4, down 24 in the third quarter. What was that huddle like when you guys flipped that switch?
That was the best moment maybe in my coaching career as far as just feeling, because I really believed. I kept telling Tibbs, like, we're going to win this game. I kept telling Tibbs, I got to find the right combination. I bet I said that word. I got to find the right combination. Something's not fitting here. Something's not working here. And we kept, if you watch that guy, I kept changing lineups because we couldn't score. And something, I couldn't figure it out. And then we fell on that Eddie House, Paul Pierce. We moved Paul to the 4. And took off that game. And the best moment for me was Jack Nicholson sitting next to me when we came back, because we're down 24, and I kept saying, how coaches do, cut it in 6, get it to 16, get it to 12. When it got to 6, the game was over.
You already knew it.
You could feel it. And the only thing that I remember, about that game that's funny is Jack Nicholson kept yelling, Doc, Doc. He just kept calling my name. And I finally turned around, and he said, we are dead men walking.
That momentum is serious, for real fans and obviously coaches and players. You feel that shit. Like the casual not understand, but that momentum is everything. And if you could walk a team down in those kind of situations, it's tough to come out of.
Yeah, and then after that game, the thing I knew, I didn't know because you never know, but the first thing I remember them saying, I think it was Lamar Odom, we got to play physical like them. And right when I heard that, I remember saying that this series is over. Because you are what you are.
Absolutely. You're not going to change in the finals.
Yeah, and you're going to start playing like us, you're not beating us.
Absolutely. That's your game.
That's who we were. We had some physical, just naturally. It wasn't taught. It was who they were.
Dogs, right? Game 6, you're fortunate enough to close out at home. From pregame to the time the confetti fell, what was the energy and mindset of the team and yourself?
Well, we didn't have a lot of time. If you remember the whole story, that we both took off that next day at the same time. The Laker plane takes off.
Yeah.
And then our plane is broke. Then the family plane is broke. Now, come on, y'all.
To set up.
We're in L.A. And both of their planes take off. So we're on the ground for like 5-6 extra hours.
Damn.
And finally, we land at 1 a.m. on the day of the game. And so it was probably one of the best decisions I made as a coach. We didn't have shoot around. Think about that. For game 6.
Game 6 of the finals.
NBA finals, we didn't have shoot around. I said, hey guys, I'll meet you in the locker room 35 on the clock, just like normal. And we showed up, and it's the first time and probably the only time that I walked in the locker room. I said, guys, we're not going to win tonight. We're going to win by a lot. We're going to play the perfect game tonight. This is the night that we show them who we actually are. And, I had the benefit of that game of being able to know we're going to win the game with 9 minutes. I mean, we were at 40.
Right.
But the funniest story in that game, we were up 40 or 38 with like 5 minutes left, and I hadn't subbed. And Tom Thibodeau, of all people, who never subs,
right,
comes up to me and was like, because he used to say, "Boss man, hey, boss man, you gonna sub?" And I said, "When Kobe goes off the floor, I'm gonna sub. But until Phil takes Kobe out, I'm not taking our guys out." Which tells you what you felt about Kobe.
Hell yeah.
We're
ain't over till it's over.
Like this dude, man, I'm not taking any chance. And then when Phil finally subbed and we subbed everybody out, and that was, listen, man, you guys all won. There's no better feeling than winning. It's like you have a blood transfusion with your teammates and with your franchise, and it's why you should play sports. It really is. It's the only reason. I mean, to make a living is one, and then the other one is, man, if when you got a chance to win and you don't, you're going to look back on your career as a player. If it's nothing other than the team was better, it's going to always bother you. Yeah. And I don't care who you are. At least for me, that's what it would have been.
Absolutely. I remember, we were fortunate enough to get one of Kobe's last interviews, and he said that series right there to him was the series that always haunted him, that would make him sick. The fact that you guys handled him like that to win the championship.
I remember talking to him right after the game, and he's crying. He's got tears in his eyes. And I could feel his energy, like literally feel it. I told a couple guys after the game, and it was not an energy of sadness. It was an energy I'm going to get you guys.
I'm going to see you. That was his whole goal.
It was not I told a couple of our guys, I said, that was not we lost. It was,
I'm gonna see you motherfuckers.
I'm gonna goddamn destroy you. You can feel it. Like you can feel it.
Yeah.
And he got us back in 10. But that was obviously the hardest loss for me as a coach. Losing Perk, having a lead in that game.
Yep.
I'm not gonna say anything, but that second half was called differently. I'm over it. But come on, man.
2010, man, I remember that shit more than the year that we won it, because it was like our starting five healthy. We never lost a playoff series, and I felt like going into LA, we was up 3-2. Game 6 in LA. Felt like we had the right momentum going. Obviously, they get Andrew Bynum back, so now I'm playing Andrew Bynum, Ticket playing Paul Gasol. Yeah, Paul Gasol. So the motherfucking matchups is even. We down there, we battling like a motherfucker. We going at it. So, man, I tell my motherfucking ACL, man, and it was the worst thing of my life, because I didn't think, it wasn't that I didn't feel like I wasn't going to bounce back. But you just never take going to the finals for granted.
Talk to him.
Because people don't understand. It's hard to just get to the finals, let alone win the championship. And I'm like, man, I might not reach this shit again ever in my life. That's why it hurted me. And then having to sit out game 7 and watch us have a 14-point lead in the fourth quarter, and the Lakers walk that shit down to win the championship, and watch them celebrate on their home court. And us having to walk through the stadium, hearing all that shit, the bus ride back, going to the plane, the shit decorated with LA gear. But I'm going to tell you something. Kobe was 6 for 24 that game. But this is how bad he wanted. Every team that won the game in that series won the rebounding battle. Kobe had 15 motherfucking rebounds at the 2-guard position. So that goes to... That's another testimony to his greatness, because people always think everybody want to talk about the scoring, but like he was off. But he said, you know
He
what?
would do
I'ma
he would do whatever. He will do whatever it takes to win.
He had 8 offensive rebounds that led to him going to the free throw line. Like that's what like motherfucker wanted that shit, man. And like today, man, since we thinking back on it, and when we lost our brother, I ain't even just saying this because you know it's a front. This is how I feel. When people ask me about that 2010 now, I'm at ease with it. I'm like, you know what? Shit, shit, Kobe could have that motherfucker, man. I'm glad he took it. Straight up, that's just the real one in me. I don't think about it. I don't say what if. I'm like, hell yeah, I'm glad Kobe got his fill. I ain't even care if it was against us.
That's real shit. 2010 summer, Miami forms their big three, their own big three. What's the reaction by you guys? Thoughts?
Shit, I don't know, man. I was long and gone. Motherfucker shipped me up out of there. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, did you got traded that summer?
No, I got traded in January. I'm lying. So when they formed together, I was recovering off my ACL injury, so I didn't never get a chance to play with them. But we added Shaq. We added Shaq and we added J.O. And what happened was that I had Danny offered me a contract extension. I was making $4 million. He was like, here, Perk, I got a contract extension for you for $6 million a year. I was like, Dan, I can't take that. A starting center right now making anywhere from 10 to 15. So Danny knew it was a strong possibility I was going to walk. He traded, long story short, man, he traded me to OKC, knowing I was going to get paid there. I didn't play a game. Before I even played one game, man, they gave me a 4-year, $36 million deal. So I was like, people always be mad at Danny, but Danny actually did me a favor. But when the big three, yeah, man, when the big three was formed in Miami, I was like, shit, this about to be a motherfucking problem. I wasn't necessarily scared of Chris Bosh because KG always gave him that work. You know what I'm saying? And for some reason, he took it personal when he played against Bosh. But, man, I ain't going to lie. LeBron and D-Wade pairing up, going against, like, kind of older Ray and Paul, I was like, fuck, I don't know about that one, man. That's going to be a hard motherfucker to get across right there.
How close are you with Tatum? You guys both being back-to-back third picks, coming to a historical franchise like the Celtics. Was he someone that you bonded with early on?
Yeah, like I think when me and Tatum came in, we had similar situations, but we kind of like polar opposites in a sense. Like Tatum is like, even in our game, like I'm more aggressive, Tatum more laid back. You know what I mean? Like, and that's kind of how our personalities is. Like I'm more he'll probably say I'm a little outside of the box, and he's probably a little bit more how cut and simply just keep it simple.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we in a weird way, it kind of like works.
Because you're different.
You know what I mean? Because we lack what each other has, you know what I mean? So in a weird way, we got like an understanding like of each other, a respect for each other. Our families is close. Like my brother like babysit his like his son and stuff like that. Like we got
right.
So we
That's
have
your light-skinned brother.
Exactly. We different. Like we got different mindsets, but at the same time, like I think we respect each other.
Y'all can be great together for a long time too, bro. I think in the back of the mind, y'all know that too. If y'all can stay together for a long time, y'all can be Jordan and Pippen all over again.
That's dope. So what is it like? Tell me what it's like playing for a historical franchise like Boston.
Boston is a great city, of course. Definitely something that when I came into, I had no idea about. Like nobody in my family was a Celtics fan. Nobody was particularly fond of the Celtics when I got there.
You a country boy. You Atlanta country boy.
You know what I mean?
You grew up a Hawks fan?
Nah. I would say I grew up a Hawks fan and a Falcons. You know, I support the hometown city. I would say that. So like with my family, like when I got there, people had questions, you know, about Boston, the area, the people. People was like suspicious about how the people treat, you know, people of color
no question.
and stuff like that. So it was a little bit, you know, people was a little bit indifferent. My family, they had ideas in their head about how Boston was. And as I've been there, I've seen some of those ideas. And I've seen how the city has progressed in the last 4 years and how eclectic it is. The city of Boston is. Outside cities are a little bit, need some work for sure, because you see how like it's still like a little bit separate outside. But the city of Boston, I think everybody comes together in the city and works together, makes money together, watches the Celtics games and the Bruins and all that. Everybody come together like in the city, but outside the city it's a little bit different. But I've definitely been able to see like the city of Boston grow and been able to like be a part of it. I've been there for 4 years, so I'm a part of the community now. So it's not just, it's on me too. You know what I mean? So I'm trying to figure out ways to bring the community together. I did a gala this year, showing some love to places in the community that don't get the amount of love they deserve. So I'm trying to find ways to bring the community more and more together, because I've been there for 4 years and hopefully I'll be there for 4 more. So I'm trying to do something too to add, to be a part of the solution.
You used to the snow? You comfortable with the snow yet?
I don't think I'm ever gonna get used to the snow.
Right, that's slush.
Man, it'd be like, I remember my rookie year, we had a game. I opened the door and like literally the snow fell off the roof. I couldn't see out the door. So I'm thinking like, okay, cool, game canceled.
Nah, you still gotta get there.
I'm like, game canceled, we good. I'm about to go back to sleep. They was like, then Lynchy hit us like, take time to shovel out the snow to make sure you get to the game on time, leave an hour early. So I'm like, yo, I really got to play in this?
Yes.
Had to leave an hour early for the game, so it took me 2 hours to get there. And then I had to shovel myself out of the snow, like literally.
You weren't used to that?
Nah, I was
used
like,
to that shit.
I was like, this ain't it, man. This ain't it.
2017, the draft comes. Danny Ainge is playing some mind games, trades picks, able to get you in the 3rd spot. This is where Markelle went first, Zoe went 2nd, you went 3rd. I think Donovan Mitchell went 13. What in particular do you remember about draft day and that rookie experience?
Yeah, he definitely played some mind games for sure. Because it was like 5 days before the draft. Because I remember Boston had the #1 pick, and everybody, it was kind of like known, like the media was saying, like Markelle was going #1, and Lonzo was in LA, so everybody knew Lonzo was going to the Lakers. I didn't even work out for the Lakers because I just knew, me and my agent was like, it's going to be a waste of time. Like everybody know Lonzo going #2. So at the time, Philly was 3 and Phoenix Suns was 4. So Philly, Phoenix, and Boston, they came. I was in LA working out, so they came to watch me work out. And I remember, I sat down and talked to them. And after I met with them all, I remember I was like, I think I'm going to Philly. Like they had the 3rd pick. I had a good workout, and I talked to Brett Brown, and everything was cool. So I thought I was going to Philly. But then I remember I went to Phoenix. This was a week before the draft. I went to Phoenix just to meet with Earl Watson and talk to the GM and see the facility. I didn't work out. I just wanted to go meet with everybody. And
shout out my dog Earl.
Yeah, shout out to Earl. Earl is my guy. Like I remember I went to dinner with him the next day. I remember he picked me up. He had a white G-Wagon. He drove me around and showed me like all the houses where the players live at. I'm like, damn.
Hey, it's dope out there, ain't it? Phoenix is beautiful. Earl was my Earl's my point guard at UCLA.
Yeah, I remember I called my family, my mom, I'm like, yo, I think I want to go to Phoenix. Like Earl
Phoenix
Watson, he was like, yo, you come to Phoenix, you and D Book. Like he was like 2 light-skinned killers. I'm gonna let y'all rock out. I'm like,
hell yeah.
I'm sitting in the car. I'm like, man, this sounds good. Like, yeah, like I think I want to come here. So I remember I get back to my hotel. I'm about to fly back home for like 2 days ago before I go to New York. And I'm sitting, and my agent called me. He like, Danny Ainge called and said they're gonna trade their pick. They're gonna go to 3, and they want you to come to Boston and the next day to work out. I'm like, nah, I don't want to go to Boston. Like I like it out here in Phoenix. Like it's cool. The weather nice. I get a big house. I get a pool. My mom gonna be all right. He's like, Brad Stevens, a great young coach, and they got a great history. I'm like, I'm not trying to hear that. Like, I want to go to Phoenix. So then my agent was like, just think about it. And then so we hang up. I'm like, I'm not going to this workout. Like, I'm cool. So then Coach K called me. Coach K called me right after my agent did. He's like, Jayson, you know, the Celtics called. They want you to come work out. You know, I think Brad Stevens is a great coach, and you know, it's a great place to be. You'll learn a lot. So I'm like, all right. So I go. So I remember I flew to St. Louis that night. The next day, I flew to Boston for another workout in Boston. So this was 3 days before the draft. I took the train from Boston to the draft because I had a sinus infection. So like the air pressure like made me sick. So I took the train to the draft. And when I didn't know where I was going. Like I figured it may be Boston or Phoenix. And you know, when I finally heard my name called, it was by far the best day of my life because it's what I've been working for 16 years. But it was a part of me that didn't really want to go to Boston because they just was the number one team in the East. They had Isiah Thomas, Al Horford, Smart, JB, Jay Crowder. I was like, I mean, I'm not gonna play. Like I'm trying to get buckets. But I mean, everything worked out. So it was the best decisions. So it worked out.
Yeah. You thought long and hard about being that second light-skinned killer out there in Scottsdale, huh?
That would have been crazy, him and Booker.
Could you imagine him and Book? Ooh, wee. That would have been nasty. So your rookie debut. Yeah, your rookie again, my man. Shout out my man Earl Watson, man. He got done dirty out there, but it's refreshing hearing all the players speak about it because players really fucked with him. Just the owner is a clown, and you know management is fucked up. But I'm glad to hear that you know Earl had convinced you that you wanted to be in Phoenix. That's what's up. Your rookie debut, you play against LeBron, come out and drop a double-double. Tell me what that was like.
Man, I ain't get no sleep the night before the game. Because it was Kyrie's first game coming back to Cleveland. You know, we got a new team and, you know, it's all this hype. So, I mean, I don't think I'm nervous. Like, we going through warm-ups. We run on the court. The Cavs still ain't running on the court yet. So I'm like, all right, I'm good. So I'm laying the ball up, playing cool. And then I remember the Cavs running on the floor. And then LeBron was the last person in warm-ups. And when he ran on the court, he ran past me. I said, damn. I just started getting nervous. I started shaking. The first shot I ever took in the game, I set a screen for Kai. I slipped it. Kai threw me a float pass, and I thought I was wide open. So I'm like, I'm finna get my first bucket. Like I'm gonna calm down. Man, I tried to lay it up. He came. I don't know where Brian came. He came sent that to the fifth row. I didn't score to the second half. I didn't get my first bucket to the second half.
Was that your welcome to the NBA moment?
That was for sure my welcome to the NBA moment. My first shot, Brian came out of nowhere. I was shook.
So now once you're here, you're Boston, you know, you had mixed feelings, but going into a place with so much tradition, so many championships, what was it like being a part of that organization once, you know, realize that's where you're going and that's where you're at? Yeah, it kind of reminded me of being at Duke. You know, just so much winning history and tradition and seeing all the banners they got up there and, you know, all the media attention. Duke really prepared me to go to Boston. And, you know, everything happened for a reason and it worked out really well. So, you know, I've really enjoyed being in Boston so far and you know, playing in the Garden is like no other place. The fans are amazing and just looking up there at the 17 championships that we have and all the great players that come before me to put on that uniform is crazy.
What former Celtic have you been able to speak to or build a relationship with? Because I know when you play for the Celtics, like talking to Paul, all the former players, all the greats be around sometimes. Have you ever got a chance, even if it's Paul, have you ever got built a relationship with a Celtic great?
Yeah, it would be Paul and KG, but you know Paul is around a lot more, especially you know working with ESPN. So I talk to him pretty often. So you know just you know watching because I watched him growing up as well. You know somebody that you know I kind of took a little bits and pieces from that game and
his footwork is unbelievable.
Tough.
Yeah. He's the truth.
Straight up.
So just being able to talk to him and, you know, him giving me little insights and words of encouragement, go a long way because, oftentimes, sometimes older players, sometimes talk down on the new generation or stuff like that. And it's a good feeling when, somebody like Paul Pierce welcomes you and, tells you that, you could be the next, Celtic great or whatever like that. That's an incredible feeling.
That's what's up. So going from being nervous in your first game, getting your first shot thrown back to St. Louis by LeBron to doing your thing in the playoffs. You know what I mean? Beat the Bucks in the first round in 7 games, beat the Sixers in 5 games, and like I said, battled the fuck out of the Cavs in 7 games, being so close to going to the finals.
And dunked on Braun. He dunked on Braun. I was at that game. I was at the game.
Yeah, you saw the first thing my kids said when they came in. The first thing my twin said, "When you gonna dunk on Braun again?" You know what I mean? So that was a crazy moment. But tell us what that was like. Also considering Kyrie was out, you know what I mean? So it was all up to the young guns to kind of do your thing, and you guys stepped on that stage, man, and really won over, I said, the world with the way you played, the confident way you played, dunking on motherfuckers, bumping Braun after you dunked them. Like, talk to us about that whole first year run.
Yeah, that was that might have been like probably the most fun I ever had playing basketball because Gordon got hurt the first game and Kai got hurt with we played like 20 games in the regular season at the end without Kai. So we kind of was starting to form our own identity that we was going to go into the playoffs. And it was weird. Like, we was a 2 seed, but like nobody thought we was going to beat the Bucks, like, because I was 19 and JB was in his second year and we had Terry and Smart and Mook. We had like a bunch of like underdogs and things like that. And that really boosted our confidence because we had the home court advantage, and we were just like we just felt like we had nothing to lose. So we beat the Bucks in 7. So then they was like, all right, that was a fluke. They're not gonna beat Philly. I think Philly beat Miami like 4-1, before that. So they was rolling. So they was like, they're not gonna beat Philly. So then we was up on Philly 3-0, and then they came back and we beat them in 5. So now we and like you said, we kind of won the world over, like just how we was playing. And, I was leading the team in points. I was averaging like 19, but like JB was giving us 17, Terry was giving us 17, and Horford and my man Mook was hooping. So we was really playing just like free, like we had just nothing, nobody had nothing to lose.
That was hooping.
We was just going out and playing every night, and we was having so much fun. We was locking up. Everybody was involved, and once we played the Cavs, we could feel it. Like, everybody was rooting for us. Like, everybody, we was like kind of a feel good story. Like, people wanted to see us do well, and even to take them to Cavs at Game 7 and play against Bron, like, for my first year in the league, and that's something I'll never forget. Like, that really has taught me a lot, and it really builds character and boosted my confidence going into now.
It was good to see, Matt, because like I said, I was there, but to see 2 young guys in the young team without Kyrie, it was refreshing to me, and it was one of my favorite series to watch because I was happy to see some young guys compete and take that challenge and been thrown on the stage at a young age against LeBron. They didn't back down. I see so many guys in the league that don't take the challenge, that back down. But it was good to see 2 young guys that I knew they was from that culture. They went out there and they stepped up. They didn't win, but I think the world was just happy to see some young talent come and compete and see the future getting ready to rise in the league. That was refreshing for me to see, bro.
No question. That shit was beautiful to watch. Talk to us a little bit about that one particular play. The dunk, the bump. That shit was on SportsCenter Top 10. What happened? Talk to how that dunk, was talked about and kind of changed things.
Even no lie, to this day, people either tag me on Instagram or Twitter. Like, I see the dunk every day. Since it's somehow.
Yeah. How many people face LeBron like that though?
Straight up.
Yeah. I got a poster of it upstairs in my hallway. Like, my mom got a poster of it. My pops got one in his house. It was crazy because I remember like it was yesterday. It was in the fourth quarter. It was a low scoring game too. So. Like, both teams was kind of struggling a little bit, and Brad called a timeout, and we settling too much for jumpers. let's try to get one. Let's try to get to the foul line, attack the rim. So I remember Smart had the ball. Al come set a pin down for me, and he was like, "JT, you get it. Attack downhill to make a play for yourself or somebody else." So I remember I got it, and I turned the corner, and it's like everything kind of slowed down for a second because I seen Brian. I'm like, oh, it's like I gotta try to dunk it because if like I didn't think I was gonna dunk on him. I was like, let me just try to dunk it. Hopefully I get the foul or something. So I'm like, oh, so like for like 5 seconds, everything slowed down, and as soon as I jumped, it was like, and then I'm coming down on the ground. And I don't know why, but I bumped him and I yelled in his face. And I remember he looked at me.
Yeah, I loved it.
He after I bumped him, he looked at me like, I'm like, oh, let me get back on defense.
Like this.
That wasn't that look though.
Yeah.
That was a look like, oh, this motherfucker is for real.
Yeah, like this nigga came to play. Yeah, that was the look of how dare you? But there was a little bit of respect in that look too. Like this little motherfucker came to hoop, man.
For sure.
Yes, sir.
And he then, after that season, he gave you one of the, the best compliments you can get is, you're built for stardom. He saw the star in you, obviously throughout the season, but especially in that playoff series. And what did that mean to you to kind of be stamped by arguably one of the greatest players of all time?
He gave him the nickname, The Problem.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like you said, when I step on the floor, I never back down from anybody. I tell myself, like when I step on the floor, like I'm the best player out here. Like that's how I approach it. Mm-hmm. But I understand like LeBron is what he means to basketball and what he means to players like myself and just basketball in general. Like what he's done so much for the game. So to get that that nod from him, it's a big deal. You appreciate that. Just getting recognized by, like you said, one of the greatest.
Take us back to your early days. What was it like growing up, being raised by a single mom?
It was tough. I grew up with a single mom. My dad was around, but I lived with my mom. They had me, I think they was seniors in high school, or right after they graduated high school. So they was young, and growing up in St. Louis with not having much, and just kind of being in that environment. Most people, you don't really know that you poor, you don't have it until you grow up or until
you get something
you
else,
get around
right?
people, until you do things like that. So, I love St. Louis. St. Louis is one of the biggest reasons, why I am who I am today. And I always, go home as much as possible and show love whenever I can, just because it got me to where I am. And, we all got stories and situations of, a lot of guys that came from the same place as us, but, a couple mistakes away that they didn't, make it. And, I tell people all the time, people ask me like, why are you so confident? Or, what was your biggest fear, growing up? And I always wanted to, play basketball and be in the NBA. And I never felt like I wasn't good enough or I didn't have the talent. I tell people my biggest fear all the time was just growing up in St. Louis, just being at the wrong place in the wrong time. That was like a real fear for me growing up. Just always.
I tell people that all the time, bro.
Yeah, it's real. Like being at the wrong place at the wrong time is scary, especially back in St. Louis. So I thank God every day. I was able to live out my dream.
It sounds like your mom was a superstar. I lost my mom, and that's how Jack and I became brothers. But, your mom was taking college classes and taking you with her, was able to earn her bachelor and law degree, all while working 2 jobs and never missing a game or practice for you. So, definitely shout out to moms for all the sacrifice she made to get you where you're at today, man.
For sure, yeah. My mom, super mom. My mama, she a gangster for real. Like, I tell her, I love my mama to death.
Where does your thirst for education come from?
I would say with the OG, my mom, my upbringing. My mom, she not only she had 2 degrees, but she was like the realest person I knew. Like she had to do both roles, but at the same time, she was in school. At the same time, like she worked jobs, she cleaned the house, she cooked, she did it all. Mm-hmm. So I got to see somebody being a dope in multiple facets and multiple roles. So it told me that just because I do one thing don't mean I gotta be stuck in that box forever.
So your mom was your hero, it sounds like?
Yeah, for sure.
A lot of people don't understand like what you learn from your mother, like not having a father there. People don't understand how hard it is for a mother to play that role. You know what I mean? To keep us out of trouble when we want to rebel and be men at a young age. Like it's really hard. So when we do make it, that's really our only goal, is to change our mom's life, because she paid, people don't know the dues and the stuff she went through for us to even be here, to even have a chance to make it to the NBA. So I totally feel you, though, because me and Matt had the same relationships with our mom. You know what I'm saying? Matt's dad was around, but my dad wasn't around. But so I know, you know, even though you got this money, it don't stop, because you have more things that you want to do, and that money just makes you hungrier.
Facts. And you can curse on this show?
Yeah, hell yeah. Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah.
Fuck yeah. Yeah, my mom, she was the realest nigga I know.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, so, that's what's up. Yeah, so it's great to be able to just do stuff for her and let her travel and have that freedom and see that happiness. Because I remember it was days she would come home from work, she's sitting in traffic in Atlanta, 2 hour worth of traffic, she come home and like, is one shoe in front of the door, she just go crazy. Mm-hmm. Dishes in the sink, she go crazy. So like, it's good to see her now. She's smiling, she kick back, she travel. So
that's what feeling.
It's about. Yeah.
So y'all are off to a hot start. 11-2, should be 12-1. Tell me what it's like right now. I mean, because you guys got an early taste. Your second year, you guys go to the Eastern Finals. You guys are the talk of the league. You know, that's when definitely you was on my radar. I saw you, you know, me being from the Bay, I saw you at Cal, and I was just like, okay, this kid could play. So third pick, come in. Your second year, you guys go right to the Eastern Conference Finals. Tell me what that's like.
It's great. It's a blessing. I know a lot of people don't get that privilege to be able to play, you know, that deep into the playoffs multiple times. Mm-hmm. So I don't take that for granted. And I just always want to keep working and stuff like that. But just finding ways to win in this league is tough. Mm-hmm. Anytime you can get a win, take it. Because I've talked to vets that's been on different teams and people that's been in the league for a long time. It don't always go like that. So I try to listen and learn from their stories. So anytime we try to win, we try to take advantage of it.
So you guys are basically 24 minutes from going to the finals in your second season. Get Kyrie healthy, get Gordon healthy. You guys are expected on paper to be that team. And I know that personally had you, it looked like, it seemed like from the outside looking in, you kind of had to take a step back last year with the situation, and we didn't see the jump we thought we were going to see. Obviously, we see it this year. But walk us through that. What do you think? What was the problem with that? Or
that was a tough transition for me. I was 20, 21, about to be 22 years old, coming off of a great season in the playoffs, and it was kind of facilitated. It wasn't really facilitated, but it was like understanding that I was going to be, or me and Terry was the one that was going to have to be the ones taking a step back. And we kind of really didn't understand that. Like, why us? Out of all, you know, people, why? You know what I mean? But it worked out the way it worked out, and we don't want to look back on the past too much, because it is what it is, and we looking forward. But it was tough, for sure. You coming off of a great season, you're young, huge, and it was almost like they wanted to make it a bad thing that you wanted more.
Right, right.
Make you look selfish.
Like these young guys, they don't understand, they selfish. I'm like, what we supposed to want to do? Right. Like, we supposed to want to get better. We supposed to want to dominate. We supposed to want to take it to the next level. But they almost made it seem like that was a bad thing.
Like y'all being counselors.
Yeah, like, so.
But it said a lot about you, for you to, as a young guy, to be able to take that and still perform. Like me, I know if somebody told me that at that age, I'm finna be in the funk. I ain't gonna want to play. I'm gonna have an attitude. Like, you handled it like a pro at a young age. Like, I had to be around Tim Duncan and David Robinson to learn how to be a professional. For you to be able to take that at a young age like that after the year you just had, that's a testament too. That says a lot about you, because a lot of young guys that's put in that position at a young age early in their career, they don't last long.
I ain't gonna lie to you. It was tough.
Yeah.
Like, mentally, it caused a lot of anxiety, a lot of stress, a lot of self-doubt.
Being a top pick,
a third-round draft pick coming off, and I'm seeing other guys in the league that's in the positions, and they getting the. So it's hard not to compare yourself and just try to stay in your own lane. But it was tough. It caused mentally a lot of fortitude for me to be able to look myself in the mirror and be like, you know, I ain't gonna care what these people got to say. I'm going to just continue to go forward no matter what the situation is.
Talk to us about that anxiety, because that's something, you know, when we first came in the league, like that mental health wasn't discussed. And, you know, you've been vocal with it. Kevin Love's been vocal with it. Other guys have been vocal with it. Putting that out, did you feel like that took a weight off your shoulders, or you had explain that to me?
It didn't take a weight off my shoulders, because I know that people still battle. It's a battle that still currently
daily, right?
Is going on. It's daily. Everybody deals with it in some way, shape, or form. Like that voice that's telling you you're not as good as you think you are, or what you're trying to do, or you're not worthy. You know, our kids are, you know, the younger generation, they deal with that on a daily basis. So it's just me, I'm just using it as somebody that, you know, somebody of influence that goes through it, just so maybe they could feel a little bit more comfortable for it. But for me, I don't say it's like I overcame it or it's gone. It's just a daily battle. Like, it was tough because when you get put into a situation with adversity, naturally you start to question yourself and your ability.
That's the first thing you do.
And your confidence, like, am I as good as I thought I was? And as soon as you start to question yourself, it's over. As soon as you start to not believe in yourself, you can kiss it goodbye. As soon as they get in your head, you're going to kill, like, the self-doubt is going to kill you before anybody else can even touch you, right? So for me, that's why I had a rough start to last year, because it took me a minute to kind of get out of that, to kind of like, okay, remind myself of like what I bring to the table, remind myself of who I am, remind myself that I'm unique.
I'm Jaylen Brown, goddammit.
And I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I mean, certain people try to make you feel bad because you think different or you are different, and they try to, you know, whatever, make it seem like that's a bad thing. I had to remind myself, like, everybody got their own unique qualities that they bring to the table. And that's what's beautiful with the world, because everybody think differently. But most of these people, they walk into everyday life and everything is the same.
Right.
And you walk in, you leave the house and you go act like somebody else.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I had to realize, like, you know, I'm me, and I'm going to walk out the door every single day and be me, regardless of what the Celtics got to say, regardless of what the Black Twitter, anybody got to say. Yeah. I just had to do that, and that's what helped me really get up out of that.
You got to spend time with Kobe and talk to him and help work on your game. Talk to us a little bit about that, because I think that's amazing.
Yeah, it was. I had met Kobe a couple times growing up. My dad's best friend, Larry Hughes. So when Larry played on Cleveland, one time for my birthday, like 4th grade, I went to when they played the Lakers. I took a picture with Kobe then. I met him at the ESPYs when I was in college. And then after my rookie year, during my rookie year in the playoffs, that's when he started doing the detail thing. And I remember he did one on me in the playoffs, and he texted me. He texted me, he was like, you know, keep doing your thing. I'm watching, you know, after the season, you know, hit me up anytime you're in LA, we get some work together. I was like, I dropped my phone. I couldn't believe it.
Right.
So I remember the first day that summer I got to LA, as soon as I landed, I texted him. I was like, yo, I'm in LA for a couple weeks. You know, I know you're probably busy, but if you got any time, I'll let it get in the gym. I remember he ain't text me back for like 4 days. Like, it wasn't 4 days by him texting me. And as soon as he texted me, I texted him like 20 seconds back. Like, I responded fast as shit. And then, you know, we met like twice before we actually worked out. Like, I went to his office, and he showed me around when he was, you know, writing books and stuff like that. And then we got to work out. So it was like, that was a dream come true for me.
Tell us a little bit about what those workouts were like and what you took away, because like we all know, I mean, his attention to detail is second to none. My kids were lucky enough to work out with him for their little 10th birthday surprise, but he was putting them through some real NBA footwork, pivot, attention to detail. How precise was he, and what did you take away from those workouts with him?
Yeah, he a lot of attention to detail. It wasn't really anything that I couldn't do. It was, you know, a bunch of moves that he's seen me do and that he did, and it was all like little things to think about, and you know, that's what I really took from it. It was like the little things like that he would think about that I really never heard anybody else, like how they approach the game, or maybe like some of the greats did, but you know, for him to give me some of that knowledge right then and there, and just the little things, and on a jab step, and you know, creating separation and getting this little bit of space. And it was like I was I was just like a kid in a candy store. I was like, I kept like talking to myself like, man, I'm working out with Kobe. Like I couldn't believe it at the time.
That's dope. In 2019, you signed with Jordan. Jack used to be a Jordan man. They cut his boxes off though. Tell me how that situation came about and how excited you were for that opportunity.
No, I was. My agent started working on it like in the playoffs my second year, so last year. And then, when it finally came about, and we finally, negotiated and figured everything out, I was on board. I was excited. And, we took a trip. The Jordan Brand family took a trip to Monte Carlo and Paris this summer. And that was kind of like my introduction to Jordan Brand, to the world, and meeting all the guys. And first time I really sat down and talked to MJ. I got a funny story. We was in Paris, and I met MJ earlier this morning to the introduction, and I did a bunch of media. And then that night we had a dinner. So it was like Melo was there, Blake was there, Russ, Spike Lee. Everybody was there. So I remember I'm still nervous, right? So I walk in, MJ sitting down, his wife next to him, and Spike next to her. So I walk in, and I was like, I'm gonna go say what's up to him before I sit down. So I'm like, I talked to him earlier, we had a whole conversation, I kind of knew him. But then I walk over to him, and my hands start sweating. And I was like, what's up, Mike? And when I went to go shake his hand, I knocked over his wine glass on the table, and it broke. And I was like, I was like, let me get a napkin. Let me help you out. He was like, young fella, it's cool, it's good, you all right? I turned around like, yo, I'm tripping.
The fuck did I just
MJ,
Yo,
man.
that's dope. I saw you working out with T-Mac. Is he someone that you modeled your game after? Who did you look up to coming into the NBA?
T-Mac.
That was it.
T-Mac was it.
Great person to look after.
Yeah, I loved his game, his crossover, step back, the head fake, the shot fake, everything. You know what I mean? T-Mac's game, that's the one. When I went outside, first it was when I went outside, I was in the driveway, and you pretending like you somebody when you a little kid.
It was T-Mac.
For me, it was always T-Mac. Then the next it was Kobe. Then it was D-Wade and stuff like that. But T-Mac was number one.
But think about that. Tatum's is Kobe. You know what I mean? His is T-Mac.
That's a hell of a...
Oh. So what are your asks? I mean, you guys see, obviously you have enough to win a championship this year. That's the goal, right? I mean, it's championship or bust. Usually for franchises like the Celtics, I know you guys are taking a game at a time, but...
That's always the goal. I think every player, that's what they want to do at least one time in their career. For me, I'm just I'm not trying to put no expectations on this year. I'm just trying to hoop.
You know what the goal is.
Yeah, we know what the goal is, but I don't the media want, most of the media and the Celtics media, they want you to say, we're going to do this and do that. Nah, they got us on that last year. That's what kind of messed us up last year. Yeah, derailed us because everybody got so much pressure on them. And to be honest, we don't need the pressure on this group. We good. We got a lot of young players. We got a lot of talent. And we got, a lot of people filling roles that need to be filled. And we got a lot of players playing well. Brad Wanamaker, Robert Williams, Javonte Green, Grant Williams, everybody, man. Carson Edwards, our young guys is playing phenomenal. Daniel Tease, Vincent Poirier. A lot of the young guys that y'all probably don't even know their names, but they've been helping us out and getting these wins.
Yeah, you just named about 6 I ain't heard of.
Yeah. They've been helping us get these wins.
Who are the vocal leaders in that locker room?
The vocal ones?
Not having Al there. Al was that guy. When
Al spoke,
everybody listened.
Everybody listened.
Chief.
Al was
it ain't no hot Al. It ain't no bullshit. You know what I'm saying? When he speak, it means something.
Facts. When Al spoke, it definitely meant something. For me, for sure. If Al told me to do something, I'm doing it. Because not only did what he said, he did what he always told us that he was doing. He was that example. He walked in his light. I seen him come to work every day, work. And no matter what the situation was, he had the right attitude, the right mentality. Despite, if I had to follow anybody's character, that's what I was leaning towards more than anybody, just because I seen he was the example every single day. all that. You know what I mean? It's hard to follow somebody if they're not as consistent, even though they might be a leader in a different merit, but they attitude inconsistent. You know what I mean? So Al was that person for me, no question.
He like Tim Duncan. He had an even kill all the time.
All the time.
Yeah.
ACL injury. You told us before, interesting side, and I asked if you didn't mind sharing this. You were trying to obviously come back from that injury. Take it from there.
Yeah, I ended up getting popped for unknown substance. You know, so went into that. I got suspended for 4 games, which in the grand, like looking back on it after an ACL at 32 wasn't particularly bad to have 4 extra
more
weeks,
rest time,
and have more under your belt. But that was a shitty situation. But in order to keep my routine, I don't even know if I'm allowed to share this, but I got to go to the Celtics facility. And they took me in and let me rehab there, use their facility, sit and, keep my routine like a professional athlete. And that's when they were in training camp. So, I was around their fellas.
Who was on that team then for the Celtics?
Kyrie was there, Robert Williams, Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Tice. Marcus Smart.
Shout out Marcus Smart, man. Defensive Player of the Year this year.
Congrats. He's been balling, man. He works hard.
Yeah.
First guard to do it since Gary Payton.
Yeah. You were in the locker room too, right?
I was in the locker room. I had a locker.
So what's the difference? Because in the basketball locker room, we're all in there talking shit. It's a kind of a tighter circle. Obviously, and I asked you before, your NFL locker rooms are defense, offense, special teams, kickers.
Yeah.
How did you like the basketball environment?
It was awesome because they were all they're on their own little schedule. Each guy had their shoot time. It was a little more laid back. It was less intense, I'm not gonna lie.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's because they have more games and there's more, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like baseball.
It's a slow grind.
Slow grind,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Ours, in our training camp, we have 90 guys on there and you got guys trying to make the team and guys are walking on glass because you got the Turk walking around, cutting jokers left and right. So it was just it was different, but it's also a different sport. It's more individualized where you guys are sitting working on your craft 24/7. Just boom. Everyone had their own coach, and it was a lot more player driven. You know what I mean? We're like cattle. Just get over here, get a bunch of mother. You know what I mean?
Many of you guys.
Get the big guys over there, get the little guys over there. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I thought that having more coaches for more less guys, I thought that was probably an advantage. As far as you got a receiver room in the beginning of the year, we got fucking 18 guys with one coach.
Yeah, it's tough.
So for the younger guys, it's harder for them because they're really catering to the guys that are going to play, the guys that are making the team.
Right.
So those are the little things I thought about, when it comes from basketball to football. Because we don't have a minor league, we don't have a G League.
Right.
So it's
you get it or you don't.
You get in or you're out.
Right. Give us some shit. Was there anyone else he really considered when he was leaving OKC? Was it Golden State the whole time? I mean, you mentioned Pat Riley. That's obviously the Heat. Any teams that he really gave hey, this can possibly work as well?
Well, I'll give you a funny story that I actually just talked about with Tom Brady at Ruben's party. That's just a super flex, right? But I remember when the Celtics came, so the Warriors came with Steph, Draymond, Andre, Bob, Joe Lacob. I mean, they brought everybody. And then the Celtics came and had a younger team at the time. So it was the Celtics ownership and Danny Ainge and then Jay Crowder and I think Kelly Olynyk was there. So, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Already it was okay, the Celtics is a different sell, right? But here came Tom Brady. So it was all right, shit, they really trying to level the playing field. So they went to take a walk together, I think.
Brady and KD?
Yeah. And then later on, KD was yeah, yo. So he told me I should, bottom line, look for the best team, best organization, best chance to win, no matter what. And I was just pause for a second. He's I think Brady just told me to go to the Warriors, bro. So that whole trip was about understanding what was out there. It was an incredible experience to listen to these guys speak. And honestly, they were there for Kevin, but for me, I was like, damn, this guy's giving me the seat. You know what I'm saying? This was like a wind at my sail. I was like, wow, like I'm gonna talk to Pat Riley the way I envisioned talking to Pat Riley when I was a kid. This is incredible. Right. And I felt like we all stepped up, and I think Kevin ultimately like truly listened to everybody. He was open-minded. It was so painful for him to leave Oklahoma City. Yep. So painful. We documented the whole thing. Not that I let it out, but like there's moments where you could see this was not some easy thing for KD. Like, yo, where's the 73 win team? Like this shit was about him really going inside his mind, and he relies on the game, and he made the decision based on basketball, and it all happened there. And there was never really anyone else, because once he went through all of that, it was clear.